Hello, my internet fans. It's me, Statboy Mike, and I would like to welcome you to this week's installment of Throwback Thursday. The Casa D18 Studios Channel continues to sort through the archives of the Jeff Meacham Network, the Simple Man brand, JH95 FTW, NoDQ.com, and the Casa Channel in order to bring you classic content that you may not have seen in a long time, if ever. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy this week's Throwback Thursdays offering. I love you all. Statboy out.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
Hello pals, Alyssa Marino here, and as a friend of Parker Kane Promotions, I am super excited to share the awesomeness that they've got in store for you this November at WrestleCade. You'll be seeing the world-traveling Capital Championship Wrestling Global Fighting Champ Rebecca J. Scott, a rising star who's been featured on Ladies Night Out, MCW, and more, the stunner Emily J., an internationally traveled talent who you've seen on NXT UK and Stardom, Angel of the Ring Zaya Brookside, and NWA World Women's Tag Team Champion Chicago's Sweetheart Missa Kate will also be appearing live. It's all going down WrestleCade weekend in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. You can catch these stars brought to you by Parker Kane Promotions on Saturday, November 25th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And be sure to stick around for Ladies Night Out the following day on Sunday, November 26th. You can get your WrestleCade weekend tickets at WrestleCade.com.
You ever wanted to come into a sports bar where the barkeeps know their game? Well, the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media has got a production just for you. Sit down and relax as the Stat Boy and his partner break down the statistics in all things sports. Whether it's football, basketball, motorsports, baseball, hockey, soccer, professional wrestling, mixed martial arts, boxing, and much, much more. All are welcome. Your barkeep's here. Keep you up to date and in the know of everything going on in sports, while also having a pleasant conversation about it all. Your host and owner of the bar, Stat Boy Mike. His partner in crime, Dory Lou. And a host of other guests coming in. The food's hot, the seats are warm, the drinks are ice cold, and the sports talk is plentiful. Casa D18 Studios presents Stat Boy Sports Bar. Take a bar stool and enjoy the show. The Jeff Meacham Network's Multiverse of Media. For over 15 years, the recognized symbol of excellence and the standard bearer in coverage of sports and entertainment.
JJ, Jeff, you want to kick this thing off? Because I'm still trying to process everything here.
Yeah, it's like,
who wants to go first?
Yeah, who wants to go first?
Well,
Come on in. It's open mic night with your host.
you could maybe say there's really 4 topics, but it's split into 6.
The Renegade, JJ Williams.
The Sammy and Eddie Kingston thing, which one's the better smelling turd?
And his panel of co-hosts.
I am the founder. Well, call me that for today since we're going with the Jeff Jarrett love theme here this week, according to JJ.
The West Coast Professor, Jeff Meacham.
Karma is karma.
That's professional wrestling! Damn it! The Simple Man, Noah Foster.
It's showtime! Yeah! How you doing, JJ? How you doing, Jeff?
James.
Yeah.
And the He-Man, James Hebert.
Imagine Bill Burr, Joe Rogan, Paul White, the Baldies! There you go! It sells itself!
God.
Get in there!
Short his ass and shit the bed.
He's not Amber Heard.
Give it time, JJ, give it time.
No, I'm sure Jeff has some stuff that...
Dumb move. Just don't pull this bullshit again. You get one.
Tony needs to stop caring about the ratings.
Bradshaw said as long as the ads are in place, we're not going to lose that third hour.
Ring of Honor does not have to be AEW Live. They don't necessarily have to coexist with each other. We kind of saw that tonight to a degree.
Along with a panel of guests.
Well, we saw that
no
one.
longer glorious. Don't you bring that up. You want me to rant about what my NXT used to... No, we are done here for the night. I swear, James.
because you never know who may show up for open mic night.
I leave our company in the capable hands of an extraordinary group of superstars, employees, and executives.
The first thing that came to my mind was, it's about damn time.
Amen!
I literally touched everybody in the state's trash. It's horrible, you guys.
Peyton's new thing is Dennis the Menace, but it's funny because she calls it Dentist the Medicine.
That's great.
When Elliot Taylor came out and did Born for Greatness live, I was popping my pussy, having a great time. I didn't care. I was having so much fun.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Fuck Bill Belichick.
Football thing. We get it on wrestling, and then you bring in that shit. That's just how the fan goes off the damn rails. Brilliant, bloody brilliant.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another brand new installment of Open Mic Night. And can we really have a rerun at this point? Like, I feel like Open Mic Night's the type of show that you don't have a rerun for. So every episode is brand new.
Pretty much.
Joining me, as always, the simple man, Noah Foster. Joining us for the first time in the longest time,
Yes.
as Billy Joel would like to say.
Yes.
The West Coast professor, Jeff Mother effing Meacham.
That's right. It's Saturday night. We can use the mother effing tonight, bitches.
There you go. Enough said.
James has messaged me. He said he will be along shortly. He is powering on his computer as we speak. So we've got James Hebert on his way to join the panel.
Which was a bummer. I was going to totally freaking out him and call him on the bat phone here, but it didn't work out. So, oh, wow.
What is up, Psycho Jet White? Thank you for joining us.
Psycho Jet White. Yeah, exactly. There you go.
What is up, Safit? Thank you for joining us. This is an interesting week because honestly, there wasn't a whole lot of like major dirty news to like get into.
No, a lot of friggin' death though. Jesus, that friggin' thing was 30 seconds, and I had to divide it into 4 just to make it 30.
Yeah, that had to be difficult to be the one producing that.
Ugh.
But we do appreciate all that you do for us, sir. Thank you.
Well, it's one of the. I mean, I had I put up the one for Miss Lansbury when it happened, and I had the. JJ will know where that particular version of Tales Old as Time came from because it was from Once Upon a Time when Rumpel and Bell did their thing. But then I had Robbie's backed up with the Haggard theme, and then I found out that Ted passed, and I forgot about art. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to have music. It's just going to get too complicated. I'm going to be disrespectful playing the over Ted. So that's a little inappropriate.
Yeah, I
figured, okay, just quiet. That works too.
There you go. Psycho Jet White, you have nothing to worry about on my end. I still haven't seen it either. So definitely not going to spoiling anything on our end.
Oh,
Daniel,
well,
glad that you just got back from seeing it also. Yeah, I actually had this image loaded in for last week and forgot to show it.
Right. That's straight out of Jamie Lee's mouth there.
So, definitely making sure we get that a little bit of love here again tonight.
Yes.
Don't be one of those guys.
No.
Hassan, hello. How's it going?
I do find the complete and total disparity amongst the crowd as far as they either love it or they despise it. There are a few in the middle. I'm not going to lie. There are a few people that are, finding things to like and dislike about the movie. But man, the people that are strong one way or the other, they are strong one way or the other. So
that's to be expected, though. I mean, when you've got a franchise that has been going since 1978 at the end of the day for over 40 years.
Yes.
It's going to be something that's very divisive.
Yes.
That's why the Rob Zombie movies sit the way they sit with people. They either love them or they hate them.
Yes, exactly.
And you know what? I'm kind of glad we started off on this Halloween topic because I did have one non-wrestling topic that I wanted to bring up. I shared the link to you guys in the chat, the group chat. That way, those of you who maybe don't follow could get a little bit more educated on the thing.
Right.
Hello, Stat Boy. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, quite the day in hockey. Kings won! Woohoo!
That's always a good thing.
1 and 2, but damn it, they won today, so who gives a shit?
But
rough week.
So the non-wrestling thing I wanted to talk about, we'll try to go over this quickly because we are by and large a wrestling topic show. But apparently Harrison Ford has been confirmed and announced to play Thunderbolt Ross from the Hulk series in the MCU. He was previously being portrayed by William Hurt, but unfortunately William Hurt passed away earlier this year at the age of 71.
Right.
I'm pretty steadfast about my feelings in this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be a hot take here. I actually talked over this a little bit earlier with Cece, my girlfriend.
Right.
And she kind of gave me her side of things, and I can kind of see things from that perspective. But at the end of the day, and let me just say, none of this is a slight on Harrison Ford. And just before we start getting those type of messages, I see comments are popping up, but I want to focus on my little diatribe real quick before I get to the comments. So please be patient with me in the chat room. I love Harrison Ford. Been a fan of Harrison Ford pretty much all my life. Han Solo, Indiana Jones, The Fugitive, Air Force One, you name it. Even saw Witness back in the days.
Oh my goodness.
On VHS. Way back before Noah and James were even born, and I think Jeff was like 2 when that movie came out. So
this guy thinks so. I'll look it up. I'm pretty sure you're right.
So I love Harrison, but I don't know if casting an 80-year-old man into the heart of this action movie juggernaut franchise is the right call. He's already said that this latest Indiana Jones movie is going to be his last one because, to take a phrase from Roger Merton, the Lethal Weapon series, he's getting too old for this shit.
Yeah.
But now you're going to throw him into the MCU and Thunderbolt Ross becomes Red Hulk.
Yeah.
So now Harrison Ford has to do mocap and stuff. And anybody that's seen any of these behind the scenes documentaries about what mocap people go through, it's not a walk in the park.
No.
For an 80-year-old man.
No.
So I don't know if casting him is the smart decision. And then the other side that I'm looking at, and granted, the name I'm about to bring up here is only 2 years younger. So what's 2 years really at that age? But why didn't they go back to Sam Elliott, who played Thunderbolt Ross in the 2003 Eric Bana movie, now that the multiverse has been shattered wide open?
Right.
We've had Patrick Stewart come back as Professor Xavier. We've got Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool, who's going to be coming in. We had Evan Peters as Quicksilver, Pietro, come on to WandaVision from these other universes that the MCU has now kind of like reacquired and claimed.
We had Ryan announce Hugh Jackman coming in.
Yeah. Why not just tap Sam Elliott now that the multiverse has already been shattered wide open, have him return as Thunderbolt Ross? This is where I'm coming from on it, and this is my thought process. If anybody in the chat room wants to sound out about this, I will gladly throw your comments up. Those of you, everyone doesn't have to chime in on this one because I know not all the panel is knowledgeable. Does anybody have anything that y'all want to throw in on this one? What are your thoughts about Harrison Ford being brought into the MCU?
I don't understand why they can't. And when I read the thing you sent, I was baffled that they were even doing this. Don't they have the power to just make somebody look like an old motherfucker and they can actually be a young motherfucker?
That's called CGI.
No, it's not. It's also called makeup. They've done that before in regular makeup.
True, Hollywood,
they fucking did it to Bischoff. And nobody knew what the hell Bischoff was, and then he took off the makeup, and then it turns out, oh wow, he's not actually the pastor.
Mikey, to answer your question, Mikey, Thunderbolt Ross is supposed to factor into the next Captain America movie, which is tentatively titled Captain America 4 New World Order. So, there's a whole kind of level of jokes there for Jeff.
What a whole missed opportunity, man. Why couldn't they have called it Captain America 4 when he throws his mighty shield?
But then the next movie after that is The Thunderbolts, which is the team that he leads and is named after him. So they're definitely going to need him for that.
So
where they go with his character post that is questionable. That's why I say, he very well could end up turning into the Red Hulk. He could die, but is this a smart move?
The MCU is one of those, we don't know what to expect now because they're not sticking strictly to, Marvel canon going back to Stan Lee when he was a teenager back in the 1700s. So, I mean, we've got a lot of things to work with and a lot of different universes. Clearly, like you said, the multiverse is open. Couple things. James had a great point with the makeup. I cite the appearance of Dr. Loomis in Halloween Kills as a great example of old-fashioned style movie makeup and voiceover fooling any damn buddy. Right. I could have sworn above anything that they took old footage of Pleasance and threw that shit in their CGI. And I was wrong, and I was flabbergasted that I was, because that was straight up makeup and somebody else's voice. I was what the fucking the whole time. So there's that point. With the motion capture, Jay, yes, they will need him for motion capture, but things have evolved so much now that they could still motion capture Harrison's face.
That's one of the points Cece brought up.
Plaster it on, Sam Elliott's body. 2 years is not a big deal, so why bother? That's stupid, like you said. But they could, motion capture onto a 20-year-old's body, and he could be bounced off the damn walls for real because 20-year-olds have that lit energy.
Like you could just get the old dude's face and then just plaster it on a new guy. And do it for freaking the motion capture.
I personally believe casting Harrison Ford. Yes, they should. I feel that you're right, Jay, because I'm one of the few people that has come around on the Eric Bana Hulk, and especially now the multiverse is open. Bring him back. It's already there. It's already kind of established-ish. If they're go with the multiverse thing. And at the same time, I think they cast Harrison Ford for a couple reasons. One, they see that Indy is done. As far as Marvel, which is, owned by somebody else right now. And the two franchises that Harrison inhabits most frequently in his career are both owned by this guy at one point or another. And his character in Star Wars was, quite frankly, ousted like a bitch, I think, in Force Awakens. Yeah, he got the cool moment in Rise of Skywalker where he got to help his son redeem, and that's wonderful. Oh, did I spoil it? I'm sorry. It's been a few years. Get over your damn selves. So I think maybe Disney, Marvel is like, okay, he's been in Star Wars, he's been in let's throw him a quick bone in Marvel and let's just let him have a little more fun. Now, if it gets to the point where there's going to be Red Hulk and he's going to be going down the line, maybe this casting looks a little bit oopsie in hindsight. But for now, if it's one and done, good on him to get a little Marvel payday. Not that he needs it, but
right.
I mean, I'm just like absolutely flabbergasted, and Marvel's trying to do something with a dude who's like in his 80s. And like, did you literally have had to rewrite, Black Panther and that story? God rest, the soul of the Black Panther, but
right. But the trailer I saw the other day when I saw Halloween Ends, that looks like it's going to
That
be
looks fucking baller. Oh my god.
Okay, so he's gone, but we're going to give you some, to quote you, some banger shit to make up for it being gone.
Female Black Panther. His protege takes over Wakanda forever. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
The other point that CC brought up to me is the fact that Sam Elliott also has already played 2 characters in the Marvel universe.
There you go.
Because he also was the writer in Ghost Rider.
This is true.
So with them contemplating resurrecting the Ghost Rider franchise, maybe they're trying to save him for that.
I actually didn't remember that till you said. That's a very good point. So maybe trust and believe, not to kiss the boss butt too much, but there's always underlying something. There's a method to the madness, whether we see it at the first stage or we see it in the finale. Let's talk about that with Halloween. Some people agree with the way it ended, some people don't. There will be some point where we figure out why this person was put into this role. Why was I put in the role I was put in? Because it was available, and I seemed to fit the bill for the moment. We'll see what happens after my probation. Maybe I'll move up in the role. Maybe I'll stay in back of house. It really just, there's a lot of things that, much like wrestling, we don't know everything. We just wish we did, and when we don't, we love our speculation. We love picking apart everything and wondering what's going to happen next. I'm looking forward to whatever they end up doing with Thunderbolt. And who are the Yankees playing again in the postseason? I don't know either. All I know is the Dodgers are on the verge of anyway, I'm looking forward to, now that I'm finally caught up on Marvel, God help me. Well, at least movie-wise. Television-wise, I think I'll be caught up in about 6 years, give or take.
Excuse me.
Bless you, goodness. Anyway, I'm looking forward to it.
It's fair. Noah, anything you'd like to add to this? I know it's completely out of your wheelhouse, but...
Yes.
Sorry, I was working on other stuff too, because that way my brain was still awake. Harrison Ford, known best for Indiana Jones as far as my movie knowledge base goes, which is little to none. Weird decision for Marvel. That's one of the biggest known franchises in all of cinema history right now. Picking this guy probably for just name value, let alone anything else. I figured they would just use some young boy and freaking use, like you said, CGI or Hollywood magic to make it look like something that more relatable. I really don't have anything else to say.
I mean, I'm not surprised that they're just overworking the guy that should be retired. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It's Hollywood. Yeah.
That's a whole other Disney thing for a whole other time.
That's an industry problem.
Yes.
So, moving on to more wrestling-related topics.
Wrestling.
Let's get to wrestling.
I forget where I read this, but I saw it on a couple of different wrestling websites, if you will.
Ruh-roh.
Yeah.
That's how it starts.
Well, okay.
Yep.
Let's not go to Jurassic Park here. That's how it starts. And there's running and screaming.
Hey, Shabra Sapp already beat you to it this week.
But the topic here was the Survivor Series War Games, and I saw a post with a couple of different supposedly rumored matchups, both of which have some gaps in them. And so I was going to show them, see what we think of these matches, the likelihood of them actually coming to fruition, and then who we'd cast in those blank spots.
I like fantasy booking. Let's go.
The first one I think is the easiest one because there's only one blank spot to cast if this comes to fruition.
Yes.
But essentially it's the Judgment Day versus the Club, if you want to call them that, and a question mark.
Right.
Anderson and Gallows returned this past week on Raw.
Yes.
Which we're going to get into the returns and stuff a little bit later. That was part of another topic, but
yes.
Do we keep this as a 3-on-3 men against the men, or do we cast another female in there on the Club side to counteract Rhea and kind of have this as an intergender tag team match. You know, what would you do here, Meacham? You're the one that worked in women's wrestling.
Right. I mean, the obvious casting is Beth because of what happened at where the hell the show was. Extreme Rules. The hell just
True,
happened?
but Adam's not on the.
No, but
so.
you know, maybe we maybe the Glam's doesn't need Edge to back her up in this case. Maybe she just wants to kick Rhea's ass her damn self, and maybe we have to wait until they get to wherever they're going for Survivor Series. I forget what city. Forgive me. But
does the image say it?
She definitely owes her one.
No.
I mean, there's no doubt about it.
Right.
I mean that was straight evil. Like Edge quit to prevent it, and it happened anyway. Both Copelands owe them a big fat receipt. Yeah, Josh, I wouldn't mind seeing Balor back with the boys, but at the same time, I like the fact that they're doing something of substance with him, even if it is against AJ and Ganderson and Gallows. Wow, it's nap time for Uncle Jeff. Don't mind him. Anderson and Gallows. Good Lord Almighty. I don't mind Balor being the heavy in this because, you know, he's been overlooked and underused so damn much. He should win that award on the NoDQ.com awards, not freaking Claudio every year. Good grief. And maybe he will this year because Claudio's actually been a Ring of Honor World Champion this year in the company. So, you know, I mean, they might still be fighting for it because it's been only the second half of the year they've actually done shit with either one of those two. Anyway, I don't know what other female you cast in that role. Listen to me, I'm talking about Disney. I don't know what lady you put in that match because I don't really see anybody that's been beefing with the Judgment Day on the female side of things, unless Mysterio's daughter is still training, like we had heard, and they, you know, throw her in there as a way to. I mean, I know it's way out there, but that's the only thing I can think of besides Beth herself. I'm not saying actually book that. Please don't, you know, call me on the hotline and, you know, give me a bunch of garbage about it. But I don't know who else to cast besides Beth because nothing else really makes sense.
Fair, James.
I don't know if we can do it only because, like, the only person that really makes sense is Beth in this current moment. Like, if you're looking at the roster of people that are available, I guess we could try and, you know, build something up with, you know, it's like a female honorary member of the club or something if you really want to, but, like, historically that has not happened. So I don't know what you would actually do here.
No, because the only one that was closely associated with them on their side or against was Maria, and she's on the other side of the fence right now. So,
she is.
Yeah, I mean, that was awesome to see them last night, by the way. That was really cool. Again, spoilers. Sorry if you don't watch TNT on Fridays. But, yeah, I can't. I would say maybe that's not the. Again, if they're going with War Games as the main event, I don't think we need any more. As much as I want to see the show return to a full lineup of Survivor Series style matches, I don't think it's going to be the case. Triple H may do it because he's all about history and tradition, and he may reinstate that clause, if you will. But if not, I'm fine with 3-on-3 and Rhea being involved anyway because that's what Rhea Ripley do. But 3-on-3 is still fine with me because the three of them, Anderson, Gallows, and AJ, are still a great three-man team. They always have been with each other. So
I got the female that could join the equation.
Okay.
Dixie Carter.
Wow. Okay.
She's taking a bump, so she's got training, kind of.
That's a horrible idea.
If you're going that route, you may as well book Brooke Hogan.
Out of the shadows comes Noah with his clearly more rational take. Either one of them, Dixie Carter or Brooke Hogan, is just a big fat.
No. See. At least Dixie Carter's competent. Like you can make it work, kinda. Okay. Like Dixie's at least competent. Brooke will trip over her own 2 feet.
Well, it's because she's got them big Hogan feet, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
Here's the thing, though. The club's supposed to be the baby faces. You put Dixie in there, instant. Nope, heels. That's it. Forget it.
I don't know, man. She got cheered because she introduced Eddie Edwards.
It's just fair point. Fair point.
Or I'm sorry, Davey Richards, other wolf.
I mean,
Yes.
I would be cool with just leaving it 3-on-3, but I feel like Rhea, as much as she is, the character she's evolved into,
Right.
I feel like she wants more. I feel like she needs to get involved more. She needs to stop standing at the sidelines.
Oh, I agree with that.
So the name that comes back to me, and again, this may seem like a little bit of a stretch here, but if we think about the way things were booked earlier in the year, what about bringing Liv Morgan back into this?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like she's going to be doing much now that Ronda's got the strap again, and she was on the team with AJ, and I believe it was Finn.
Yep.
So it's like it would make sense from a storyline perspective to bring her back into it.
Well, not with the way her character's currently going right now, where she literally is smiling maniacally while putting people like Sonya Deville through a table. At this point, like I said, Rhea Ripley, Beth Phoenix, there's a one-on-one grudge match that needs to happen outside of And as far as the War Games, if they do 3-on-3, then leave it at that and finally settle the score, and then see what happens from there.
Yeah, and not Beth. They've been kind of teasing and dancing around it, but I think they made it official that Liv's going to be on a future episode of Chucky. So she's already involved in the supernatural and the horror anyway. She fits right into this crazy mix of match anyway.
Still need Beth versus Rhea 1-on-1, agreed, and AJ versus Balor 1-on-1 again. Also, now that the club is back and LDF is called up, do we get new tag champs before the Usos can break the New Day's record?
I don't think before they break the record, but I think Legado del Fantasma is definitely, if rumor innuendo are to be believed online, if you believe everything you read on the internet, they're gonna strap a rocket to those guys and to Zelina now that Zelina's with them.
Good.
Yeah, they should. They should have.
They
done
were
it right
freaking
away.
amazing in NXT 2.0. Hashtag not Noah's NXT.
Damn it.
Yeah, they were. They should have been on SmackDown the following week. They waited too damn long to bring those guys. And there you go. There it is. Shirt's coming soon. I swear to God, I'm going to work on it when I have JJC in my schedule the next 2 weeks. The time is microscopic at this point to do any damn thing else right now. But those guys should have brought up the very next week. They should have driven that car out of NXT and straight into the SmackDown arena, wherever the hell it was following, just for continuity purposes, because they waited too long, but it still worked. A lot of people were indifferent when they called them up, and Zelina being with them will definitely help. The New Day being on SmackDown and the reactions they're still getting makes me think that that's exactly why they'll break the record, Josh, because they want to, shake things up. And for whatever reason, and JJ and I have talked about this numerous times, the Usos seem to have a get out of jail free cards. They just do. So I think they're going to keep the momentum going with them, probably into WrestleMania, the Rumble at the earliest, much like Roman. So if they get to the Rumble, they'll have broken the record, I believe. I'm trying to keep my math in my head here, but I'm pretty sure they'll always be close. And records are made to be broken. The Demolitions lasted how many friggin' years? Like almost 30. So, records are made to be broken. Yes, Hunter believes in tradition. Yes, Hunter believes in history and is a fan of both, but he's also a fan of progress and not just for progress' sake.
It's fair.
And no, not the promotion. I'm talking about actual progress, not the wrestling promotion that they don't own, really, but they do.
Noah, anything else you want to add to this potential Survivor Series match? Noah, you're on mute for some reason.
I'm sorry, you were talking to me? I was dealing with something else.
Oh, come on, man. You're on the air, man. Come on now.
I'm good. Good. Look, I've been up since 8 a.m. I don't know what the hell's wrong with me. Anyway, as far as this goes, yeah, Beth Phoenix, Rhea Ripley should be 1-on-1. Do a War Games. If you're going to do War Games, might as well just be 3-on-3 and go from there. I really don't have a lot to say about this Judgment Day Beth Phoenix, Adam Copperland confusion picture where you now got the club, the OC, back in WWE. I don't really have much more to say about this right now. It just sounds like to me there's just a bridge point between Finn Balor and AJ Styles, and if it doesn't happen the same night, it has to happen at some point. Beth Phoenix versus Rhea Ripley, and hopefully that means Rhea Ripley finally goes on to challenge for the Raw Women's Championship, as she should have been earlier this year, but due to injury, that wasn't meant to be. I don't have a whole lot to say right now on this Survivor Series. I'm still antsy.
It's fair. Well, the other rumored match that I've seen goes back to the comment Josh made about the bloodline. And this one, we've got a whole lot more gaps to fill in.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Who would be on Bray's team? Would this be the official reveal of who the Wyatt Six are?
If you think you're finally got a force that beats the bloodline on a pay-per-view, then I guess so. But that's still a huge, big if.
Or do we just get 4 random people to join up with Bray?
Well, I'm not convinced now that the Sami Zayn thing is going to be blown off at Survivor Series like I was.
Me neither.
And I say that because it seems like they're leaning more toward it becoming a thing with he and Jay more than Sami against the world, like I thought.
Mm-hmm.
And let me just say, that promo against Logan Paul, that was great. Like, if you go back and you rewatch it, Sami totally made Roman break character there.
Both of them, him and Logan both were both cracking up.
and it was so good because Roman has always got that stoic look on his face.
Yeah,
true.
So the fact that Sami was so on fire that he could break Roman.
Yeah.
Like, Cece even saw it this morning because I went to go watch last night's episode, and for whatever reason, Hulu had last week's episode.
But not last night's.
No. So I put it on, and like I'm rewatching it, I'm like, this looks like last week, but I'm gonna leave it because you haven't seen this yet, and you like Sami, so I'm gonna let you see this real quick. You should have seen her reaction.
Oh, I'm sure.
When he came to Jay's defense.
Right.
Because of the way that Jay has been as of late. It's like, you better be kissing Sami's ass right now, Jay.
Yeah. And especially with what happened on Raw Monday, it's like, man, it seems like they're building toward Jay just having enough. Like, all right, you know what? I'm sick of, being downgraded in this bloodline, this evolution line here, if you will. Like, I was the right-hand man. Now all of a sudden I'm freaking back to being, the other twin. This bullshit. I also found it interesting, and Aaron pointed this out in a post that he put up on NoDQ, that they actually had an interview go out where Solo mentioned he hadn't seen Roman in like 20 years prior to Crunchyroll. Yeah. So that's interesting that actually got out there, because that just means there was, at least on the surface, some sort of disparity between Solo and the rest of the family, which could lead to something down the line, as I believe Virtue mentioned that on Twitter. I could be wrong. A lot of tweets going out this weekend, to say the very least, from everybody about a lot of things. Mm-hmm. So my thinking is, I think they had the characters out there for Bray's return. Now, I didn't get to be on last week because I was literally, I messaged Jay how soon after you guys signed off last week? It was like minutes, right?
Yeah, he messaged me like maybe 15 minutes after we had finally pulled the plug last week.
Yeah, when you guys signed off, I was still on property. By the time I got to the bus stop, it was already been done past. I was like, shit. I was hurrying, man. Once I clocked out, I was moving down Harbor. JJ knows how far it is to Catella. I was motoring, and it still didn't make it. Anyway, I think the characters were there just to let people just build in their own minds between the guys at home and the people in the arena. Like, oh shit, it's really him. Oh shit, it's really him. That way when he came out, the freaking pop was orgasmic. And it was. I don't think we're going to see those people going forward. I liked the theory that was brought up a couple weeks ago as far as filling the gaps, as you mentioned, for this topic. But I think it's going to be one of those, they're going to put people in there that are beefing with the Bloodline because you want to have the main eventers in War Games. That's what War Games is. It's the solid, dominant faction, the Four Horsemen, against people united against a common enemy, the Four Horsemen. And the originals, it was the Superpowers and America's team, Dusty and Magnum. Actually, no, Magnum was already hurt by then. Dusty and Nikita, excuse me. Dusty and Nikita and Legion of Doom. Those Red Warriors and Paul Ellering. So, in this case, it'll be the Horsemen being the Bloodline. On the other side, Bray, because when you really think about it, Bray finally got that last world title win, and then he lost it a week later because of Roman coming back.
Exactly.
And signing the contract on the way down. Him and Strowman beating the shit out of each other for the majority of it, then Roman coming in and picking up the scraps, much like a buzzard. Ha, ha, ha. So he's got beef with the Bloodline as a result of that because this whole 2 years of dominance started at Bray's expense and really was the beginning of the end for him anyway, amongst other things. Creative. Sorry. We'll cough there still.
To counteract Sammy, I think we still have to go with Kevin Owens.
Absolutely. Owens has to be in that match. If we're going with the people being there with beef, it has to be Kevin.
I heard there were rumors that the Brawling Brutes they were thinking of putting in this match because of how over they've been getting lately, to be honest. I did hear somewhere in the mythospheres or the mythosphere, if you will, that could be a potential team that they could put in this, which I wouldn't be against, honestly, considering how fucking great they are now. So.
Never a problem with three pretty tough Irish bastards being in a War Games match. I'm okay with that, just on surface, because it'll be a fight, as it should be in War Games. But I think you need to, and again, a lot of these feuds have already been settled. The beef is, the dust is settled, whatever you want to call it. But if you're going to put anybody in there, as far as main event talent, and JJ's going to be mad at me for one of them, so sorry in advance, Jay. Drew needs to be in there because he's had recent beef with Roman. Bray as the head or whatever. Owens because of everybody involved. Maybe not all the Brawling Brutes, but Sheamus, I think, because for whatever reason they don't want to pull the trigger on putting the IC belt on him. They want to keep it with Walter, which again I am mad at that. And fifth person, there's some options. I mean, Strowman, if they find a way to make it rational in the next however many weeks, few weeks it's going to be until Survivor Series.
Well, we still have like a month and a week because it's the Saturday after Thanksgiving.
So Strowman also has his championship reign fall at the hands of Bray, which then fell to Roman a week later. So both Strowman and Bray have basically the same beef with the Bloodline. And you got to remember, both of them were gone not too long after that. Yep. So there is a potential story to be woven, or thread to be woven there. So those two, Drew, Kevin, and then maybe not Sheamus, because Sheamus doesn't fit if I do it that way. So there's always possibilities. And I saw the comment that it'll be the 4 minus Sammy versus Drew and the Brutes. Again, you have to have Sammy in there. He's the honorary Uce. He's part of the family now. Whether we like it or acknowledge it or not, Roman does. Paul does. Both Usos seem to. Solo does. The fans sure as shit do.
Yeah, they do.
You hear that reaction in the crowd, man. Sammy is more over than he was when a group of 200 of us are going ole, ole, ole for 15 friggin' minutes straight. I know because I had therapy because of that shit.
He is only second in the Bloodline to Roman as far as how over he is.
Pretty much. He's fucking outstanding.
A telling tale, my friend. The freaking red-headed ginger boy is at damn near the head of the table over the actual family, over Paul. Paul usually gets the major reaction because it's Paul, but even Sammy's getting more than him. It's like, talk about a multiverse of madness. What in the hell's going on SmackDown right now? Or on Raw, because they're on Raw too now.
He's going crazy, man.
Both of those guys, and again, I have shit on Kevin Steen since I knew how to shit my damn self in my adulthood. But man, Owens and Zayn both have been just so good lately.
And going back to Josh's comment about the 4- Sammy versus the Drew and the Brawling Brutes, not to sound like a dick, Josh, but unless you have the Booker's report there in front of you, you don't know what it's going to be any more than we do. The whole thing we're discussing right now is rumored matches and how we'd handle them.
Yeah, nothing
They've only got Roman versus Logan Paul officially announced for Crown Jewel, which is happening in a couple of weeks.
Right.
They still need to get past that before we really start getting matches announced for Survivor Series.
Yes.
So
what we know for sure is Halloween Havoc matches and the one match for Crown Jewel. That's what we've got.
Yeah.
As far as WWE is concerned.
Yep.
Minus what I sent JJ on social media. They're going to have it on TV next week, which is every damn thing. Like every show is throwing shit at us all week. I love it.
Yeah, I mean this show is going fucking insane. They'll probably like book some random ass team and be like, "Hey, here it is."
Well, but here's my counter to that. You know, if we're talking about, you know, we've all been talking about since June how the creative direction is shifting and how the authority seems to be doing what they said they were going to do years ago and actually listen to us and actually, you know, give more of what we want. I don't necessarily know if a return to full-on traditional Survivor Series is the way to go. Because, yeah, you had at the core of the original show was the Hogan-Andre beef, which, you know, led to the main event and the controversy with the Hebners and then WrestleMania 4 in the tournament. But, you know, other than that, it was just the baddest asses of the heels versus Hogan and his top, you know, babyface lieutenants. Still kind of a throw together, right? I think Survivor Series would work best if, yes, we do have, you know, Survivor Series matches, just not every single match be that way. And if you're going to have matches of that sort, you need to have people with common enemies and common, you know, wanting common solutions to the problem, because that's what War Games was. Like I said, the Horsemen were ruling the NWA and Jim Crockett Promotions in 1987.
They ruled it with an iron fist to the point where everybody was the enemy, so everybody made sense.
Even JJ as the manager, you know, still had the that's right, cock of the walk, because he was managing the champions. That's what J.J. Dillon did. And that's why he was in that first War Games, because he needed to get his ass whooped just like the rest of them did. And Dusty and Nikita and the Road Warriors and Paul Ellering were in there to wage war on these evil corporate conglomerate assholes. If you have a common ground, like the 5 people we're talking about would be against the Bloodline, then that's the perfect way to go. 1995 randomness, not so much.
Okay, well, I mean, 1995 randomness, so try 96 uncensored. Well, no. Oh boy.
Well, no, but I mean, there was a literal match in the 95 Survivor Series that was called the wild card match.
Yeah, true.
Just for no particular reason, you had the heel British Bulldog on the same team as babyface Shawn Michaels and babyface Ahmed Johnson. Like, what the
So what you're saying is the wild card rule always existed in Vince McMahon's weird ass head.
Yes, but yes. Unlike the back of JJ's Renegade shirt, we don't talk about 1995 New Generation WWF. It didn't happen. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Better off forgotten at this point. As far as Survivor Series, what it used to be, probably better off forgotten too at this point. Because like you said, going back to the way it was with brand warfare, traditional elimination matches, it seems like that's just a dying fad now. Now Survivor Series has been turned to War Games. So whether or not this becomes the new annual standard or this is just a one-off special branded Survivor Series, we'll see.
Yes, exactly.
It's 2 cages. It's taking place in Boston, and I can't go. I'm kind of sad.
I can't go to AEW this week because I'm broke.
You know, if it's in Boston, how about we finally get the 2 people back we've been talking about on the female side in some sort of match, especially one that, I don't know, originates in Boston?
Oh.
And the other one happens to be married to the Bloodline. Just saying.
Add more to the Bloodline. Get them tag strats on them.
Hey, Sammy's going to be excommunicated eventually. It's going to be a thing. So they got to have somebody to fill the seat.
Oh.
Yeah, Sasha could work.
Well, I meant Naomi since she's married to the Bloodline, but Sasha.
Well, yeah. But I'm saying, like, Naomi, tag team partner.
Yeah, they'll probably just hire somebody and not my NXT and rename her. I've heard rumors about Rega Tahaka potentially being part of the Performance Center now, and she definitely is. Tonga, she's got that Samoan background to her. So, I mean, there's that. They can't get Naomi.
Simone Johnson.
That too. But she's been MIA since who knows when.
Yeah, but she's greener than your freaking stash, Jade. I mean, it's like she's green. So
hey, don't say that. Is my stash green? Shit.
Oh, I meant stash. But that's okay.
All right. Fly me to the moon.
Jade is like, damn it, among the stars. Back, I lost control.
It's all good. I'm trying to let y'all have a little bit of fun here. Like I said, tonight's show is going to be a little bit looser than normal because there wasn't a whole lot of like negative, dirty news, gossip to really go through. So it's like Jeff was, I use this term loosely, Jeff, but Jeff was kind of hounding me earlier in the week. Like, what have you got set for open mic night? How about this? How about this? How about this? It's like, dude, it's like Rob barely went off the air. Like, can you calm your shit? Jesus. I get you're excited that you're actually going to be able to be on the show this week. But stop trying to produce over Messenger. Like, I'm the producer now. God damn it.
Look at you. To respect my authority.
I work for a person that has ears bigger and a head bigger than mine. Give me a little slack.
Well, the next thing we're going to go to discuss, there's a few different layers to this onion, if you will, that I want to discuss.
Oh no.
Gonna be a little bit of AEW conversation.
Oh.
And it's actually not all negative.
Oh, that's always good.
It's actually pretty much positive for the most part. So breaking news came out that per a discussion with the Hollywood Reporter, Warner Brother Discovery US Networks Group chairperson and CCO Kathleen Finch revealed that the group that owns TNT and TBS has its eyes set on expanding AEW programming outside of its content within the ring. Quote, one of the things that we're doing around sports is creating shoulder programming to hold on to those fans, said Finch. AEW pulls huge numbers, so we are working with the wrestling team to figure out what kind of new content we can build that's not in a wrestling ring. This is definitely a positive sign for AEW, whose contract is up in 2024. So going to the two bigger of the AEW fans in the chat, what kind of content and stuff do you think they could produce here to try to bring even more eyes to the AEW product? And could this expansion finally lead to the Reign of Honor deal that we're like clamoring for ever since Tony announced buying it this year? Noah, you go first. You've been the quietest this week.
It's hard to say because they already do various stuff, but they do it mostly on the internet. I think about the AEW arcade channel that goes across Twitch and YouTube. I think about their podcast platform that goes across their YouTube. So exploring different, like maybe talents of certain individuals there could be a way to go. I don't see them doing like some alternative reality show because when I look at the AEW, ecosystem, a lot of what the people do outside the ring, they already do on their YouTube channel. So as far as coming up with better content, maybe they can do some sort of like behind the scenes strictly like look where it comes to, backstage area, like some sort of like backstage conversations, maybe some sort of alternative talk show hosted by Renee Paquette. It's hard for me to think about what could they do alternatively that doesn't constitute whether you're just a guest cameo on some sort of show or some guest appearance. Thinking alternatively outside the ring and not already doing the same thing you're doing on YouTube or some third streaming service. It's kind of hard for me to think about at this point. because it's not like AEW has their own network where you see what the WWE Network did in their heyday when it came to moments, countdowns, spin-off specials, short-term, superstar particularly hosted series. I'm not exactly sure what they could do outside what they are doing right now across YouTube, Twitch, and in their own personal time on their YouTube channels, some of them to a degree. I'm kind of stumped.
Well, the first idea I had, and then we'll turn it over to James, was to kind of do like WWE has done with the biographies and do hour-long specials about some of their talent, especially some of the talent that they've had or that's been around for a long time. Your Stings, your Jerichos, your Christians, even your Moxleys, your Claudios,
And maybe focus
your
on
Bryan
like the
Danielsons,
ones
your
that are
Punks.
not as well known. I do remember in the short going to AEW, they did something where Cody basically sit down, interviewed them like in one-on-one scenarios, usually in the empty arena. And it was basically entitled From Undesirable to Undeniable. And it gave a little bit of backstory towards them and why they pursued the way they chose to in this industry and what they hope to see come out of AEW for them too. So I do, but again, already been done to a degree, but maybe expanding on that, a bad idea.
Yeah, I mean, it's a formula that's known because, and you can ask Jeff, one of my favorite things about the old WWE DVDs was the hour, 2 hour bios. Getting to get behind the story of who the person was, why they got involved in wrestling and everything, similar to that one-on-one talk you were talking about with Cody and the talent. I think it would be a great way to expose the casual fans to some of the lesser-known AEW talent, the originals, if you will,
right,
while also factoring in some of the more legendary talent, like I said, your Stings, your Jerichos, your Danielsons, that will catch a huge rating. Yes, they won't be able to use their WWE footage, but they've wrestled in enough places that they can, they can probably talk to the TNA people and use some of the Impact footage.
And
It's
Lexi
the
Nair,
ROH library, they can get New Japan.
yeah, and Lexi Nair for a short while did those short-term one-on-one conversations just for fun on Outside the Ring. Again, it was on YouTube. And RJ City has his own little random talk show he does on Sundays with the AEW roster as well. So, again, to step away from the idea of maybe talk show and turn that into some sort of alternative where it doesn't involve the actual wrestling ecosystem, but you still learn and connect with more of what this person actually is and their motivations and maybe their spare time. It's something that could happen. As far as a Tough Enough, no. They already got the Nightmare Factory. They do the Nightmare Showcases still on YouTube once in a while. And honestly, Dustin Rhodes has his academy. He once in a while does his Dustin Rhodes Showcases. And we've seen talent literally involved on Dark and Elevation. So I don't see that happening either.
James, your thoughts?
Your idea, JJ, is a much better use of AEW airtime than to possibly go behind the scenes in any capacity with all the bullshit that's going on there right now.
I know, James.
Dead serious. Like, seriously,
I'd say tell us how you really feel, but
I think people.
Let's quit beating up a dead carcass.
Yeah, at this point, I'm just like, yeah, here's the bat, and just but boom, boom. But no, for real, like the better alternative for AEW is to get far away from the behind the scenes stuff as humanly possible.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that they should really be focusing on is their talent, specifically. Oh, hello, ringing. Hello. It's the House of Mouse calling.
Oh boy, aren't you at work with me, Jeff?
Oh, hang on, brother. You're not on speaker just yet. Let me hang on 1 second. Okay, hang on.
Oh.
Okay, say hi now.
Howdy, y'all.
Howdy. Who that?
It's Josh. Josh just called into the bat phone.
God damn it, Josh.
Wait, what?
Josh, you can't be on the show until you super chat. I saw you send Greg $10 a week.
Ohio takeover from beyond the line.
Damn it, Josh.
That's brilliant.
Talk about how broke you are that you super chat Greg $10
What? Shenanigans.
just to get a spin on his wheel.
Oh, man,
terrible.
that's brilliant.
He was just following my orders, to be fair. I just want to see if it would work and doing the calling in the speakerphone, see if it would work or not.
That's lovely. Yeah, I don't know. Like AEW's best bet is to go, specifically with the younger talent, going behind the scenes, like you said. I think that would actually benefit AEW a lot more than hurt them, because at this point, like, anything backstage drama that could just shatter people's immersion that is already pissing people off, just don't do it.
Yeah, I agree.
If you don't need to do it, don't do it. You know,
the fact that we had a week where Tony didn't do something stupid that we had to really talk about, that's a good thing.
Agreed.
No, except it's just Hangman Page and you know, being a child that we have to talk about.
Right? Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
That's a whole different conversation for another day.
Yeah.
Man, how bad does he look now?
I do not like the way they're booking that at all. He looks so...
He looks like a fucking man-child.
Yeah.
Right, he did say he's a man, but Moxley called him a child, so, you got both dynamics.
All right, before we get to that topic that James wanted to discuss, I do have a couple other AEW things. Let's continue on the good here for a minute.
Okay.
We got a new All-Atlantic champion.
Got to give the people what they want.
I was just going to say, is he the hero that AEW deserves or the one he needs? Or a little of both, going Dark Knight here.
Yes.
Because,
yes.
Okay.
I agree.
I tweeted right after I saw that picture, by the way. I said, can you unite the IWGP Big Pacific title with the AEW All Atlantic in a tournament in Rio de Janeiro? Asking for a friend, and added Orange Cassidy.
Pat Patterson's the friend. Anyway, carry on.
I love Pat.
God rest his soul.
I do too.
The man that gravity forgot.
Yes.
The bastard. I mean, when me and Noah did Battle of the Belts, I brought up the old picture of me and Pac from Bola that one year.
Oh my God.
And Noah's like, who the fuck is that standing next to you, dude? I'm like, that's Pac.
Straight out of
looking like skin and bones.
Pac looked like a scrawny motherfucker. He looked like he was about ready. He was I guess in this case, as poor taste as this will be, but it's open mic night. Fuck it. A few fries short of a Happy Meal, quite literally.
Pac now looks like he ate Pac and ate a testosterone ball to grow the freaking facial hair.
He's on the competitive juices.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, like I saw that and I marked out so big because it's like I don't know what it is about Orange Cassidy that gets my attention. I really don't. Because on the one hand, he's got that stupid, lazy, nonchalant offense with those kicks and everything. But on the other side, and I know Jeff's the only one who gets this reference, but he reminds me so much of my buddy Ryan.
Oh, yeah.
When we used to do our wrestling, he went by the gimmick Dub R Swift because his name is Ryan Ramos. Dub R Swift. And to kind of take a parody off The Rock, he did a leg drop with some flair. He called it the leg drop it like it's hot.
Yes.
And like some of Orange Cassidy's offense very much reminds me of Dub.
It's not hard to book, just to
find. And then, like you get the shit of him with his hands in his pockets, doing back body drops and shit to people. And it's like, that takes some athleticism, some skill. Like, you have my attention now, fucker. I wanted to just think of you as a joke, but you have my attention now. Doing
He's
a clip up
really
while
good
he
wrestler,
still has his hands in his
He's
pocket.
incredible.
He's a really goddamn good wrestler. That's
He's been
the
going
thing.
at guys for 18 years.
So when that happened, I'm like, man, I'm sad that Pac lost the title, but god damn if he didn't deserve that shit.
He's been there since day one for 3 years. He has not held any sort of championship, and he and Pac's rivalry goes all the way back to AEW Revolution
2020, they kept talking
and that was
about
the
that
match
in the
where
show.
both Pac and Orange Cassidy arrived, honestly.
You know, I mean, so that's why I came back to that Dark Knight quote, because it's like, is he the one we need or the one we deserve in this case? Because Pac was a damn good inaugural All-Atlantic champion. You
Yes, he
hate
was.
to
I
see
will not
that
deny
reign
that.
come to an end, but you're so happy for Orange Cassidy.
I just hope that now that you brought this up, they take this idea and run with it and like call him the Orange Juice as opposed to the Red Hood, and all the Red Hood garb is like turned into orange shit. That's his gimmick.
God damn it. He's already got the orange punch, damn it.
Yeah, exactly. The
So
orange
it's now in
juice.
the universe. It's now out there, and we know Tony watches. Thank you in advance, James, for ruining Orange Cassidy more than he already was ruined. There you go. Good job.
Orange Cassidy will just be like, whatever, Jeff. Trust me. He won't
That's
go
true.
along with
He
that.
will be like, whatever.
He'll get like guns like Red Hood does, but instead of actual guns, it's like squirt guns full of OJ.
Oh my God! Stop making it worse. This is all going to be on TNT and TBS in 3 days. It's going to be a
the
thing.
next Mimosa Mayhem match to come, courtesy of James Hebert.
Yes. His finisher should be the Mimosa Mayhem. I agree.
The Mimosa Multiverse of Media. Here we go.
With Dan Housen as the special guest referee.
I agree.
No, you even more wrong for that. Okay. Anyway,
hey, we're just going to keep going down this way. Fudge it. Why
That's
not?
right.
Hey, you know what? Hey, you know what? With all the bullshit that happened prior to them actually booking the shit right, finally took them long enough.
Yeah,
we need it.
I know you do.
We need a laugh.
It's one of those, I actually liken it to a different quote for Dark Knight, JJ. You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. I am very much the villain when it comes to Orange Cassidy. I was not sold on this guy even before he won the championship from Pac. I was like, I got to get to hang out with him a little bit more on the cruise, and I got to see more of the guy behind the whatever guy, and it was a fascinating thing. But at the same time, that's the one small part of me that's still very much like Jim Cornette. It's like, oh my God, he's got his hands. Shut the hell up, Ginger Man. Like, seriously, it's freaking awesome. Like you said, 18 years this guy's been, and how many of those 18 prior to adopting the Orange Cassidy gimmick was he just languishing at Al Snow prior to ECW levels? Like, seriously.
Yeah. I mean, he dressed up like he was fucking Quang, so,
Right? So, it's just one of those...
Somewhere.
I don't have a problem with it. I love the idea that, we just automatically assume that it would be somebody that doesn't necessarily have that all-Atlantic feel, like somebody that's not from the United Kingdom. And Josh is going to keep going until I get him back on the phone, so I'll go ahead and address him now. I hated missing Greg's show on Wednesday. I had to run errands, and it sucked. I had to do a grocery run on the bus. That was a pisser of a Wednesday. I fucking hated it, and I wish I was on the air with you there or not. So, no, you're wrong. Cool. Anyway,
well, because he had paid the money for the spin-a-wheel,
right.
Greg had to do an entrance. He had him do the beautiful people.
Oh, I know, because
Greg said that you would have been Velvet.
No, I popped it in the chat at the end. The thing is, that only works if we're actually together. Because Greg, the only way it would have worked is if the screen would have been, on top. That way I could have done the Velvet thing, or if we were actually in the same room. Either way, it doesn't work. And
what type of pigeons are we talking about here? What the fuck is going on?
And now that Noah and James had the image of me in the Velvet Sky Roll, I'm going to go ahead and keep going forward with the other point.
Bro, there's no.
Let the seagulls loose.
You can't just do that to Noah and I. And then
here we go.
No.
We have officially lost Noah.
Where's the please standing by thing when you need it?
So
Noah, come back.
Noah, come back. It's okay. Don't be scared. What the hell are we talking about? Oh, so yeah, I just don't have a problem with it at this point because, like I have preached for a year or more, he'll come back. It's all right. Just let me finish my point. It's fine.
All right, go.
Anything you've watched since 1982 or 3 has not been professional wrestling. It's been sports entertainment. Orange Cassidy is a perfect example of that. Yes, he's got a goofy, laid-back, lazy, stupid-ass gimmick. But when you turn the guy loose, even with his hands in his pockets, he can wrestle circles around any 4 of us or half the people on that damn roster now. So I'm okay with it. The All-Atlantic thing, I don't even know where he actually resides. Maybe somebody can look that up for me here in the room or somebody in chat where Orange Cassidy is actually originated from, besides wherever, as Justin Roberts would say. Because if he's an East Coaster, then he qualifies for the All-Atlantic Championship reign because he's on the East Coast. If he's from here, then we'll have to do what James said, have a Pacific Championship, and we'll have unification in Rio with
New Jersey.
New Jersey. There you go. And get more East Coast than Jersey. So there you go.
The way I see it, all you have to really do is just bring back the IWGP Intercontinental title and then slap an AEW logo right above it. It all works.
Hey, if Tony can buy Ring of Honor, he can buy the IWGP Intercontinental Championship from, I think, Naito and go, oh, new toy, cool.
True.
Anyway.
All right, moving on from Orange Cassidy, the other AEW topic that I had.
Oh, jeez.
Ward Joe.
Whoa, is that their team name?
That's what they're being called, yes, Ward Joe.
Ward, not even Ward.
Ward Joe. Ward
Why didn't you just call it the World of Violence? That would have been so much better.
Now, I'm hearing a lot of people online shitting on this because at the end of the day, it's 2 mid-card singles champions in a tag team.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's where I think this is good. Okay? And I may be alone in my thought process of this, but I'm willing to hear out what anybody else here has to say. Wardlow is good, but he's not great.
Right.
Throwing him in a team with Joe hides his weaknesses.
Okay. And can actually elevate him to great.
Yeah. Think about, for all the shit that we pour upon Billy Boy. Think about how much better he actually could have gotten if he hadn't been set loose on a 173-0 run and had actually had somebody teaming with him on a consistent basis to hide his weaknesses. So his endurance could maybe have gone up a little bit instead of just 5 minutes and under squash matches.
That's true. I didn't even think about that, actually.
That's a fair point.
I like Wardlow. I think Wardlow definitely has it for the main event level, but he's not ready yet.
Agree.
And I think putting him with somebody like Joe, who's been a world champion, who's been X Division champion, who's been tag champion, who's wrestled for Impact, Reign of Honor, WWE, I think will just help Wardlow get better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hi, Tony. Can you not with the Goldberg comparisons anymore? You're ruining the Renegades comparison status. He keeps comparing Wardlow to fucking Goldberg. Yeah, thank you.
Well, now I can just compare him with Joe because he's teaming with Joe.
Noah, are you still alive over there?
No, we've lost Noah for good after the whole letting the seagulls loose thing.
Don't worry, I'm still alive. I got some Gatorade left. I'm good. I'll be working on church stuff in the meantime. Per always, I'm good.
And no, he doesn't need any more new toys. But I'm just, I don't mind the idea of Cassidy being a champion as long as they actually do it right. Now with Wardlow and Joe, again, JJ, you make a great point. Two mid, for lack of a better term, mid-card champions, because ain't nobody calling Joe a mid-card as far as I'm around. No. Joe's awesome. No. Joe's going to kill every damn buddy.
And you know what? My daughter just came out into the room. I just have to point this up real quick, too. She was actually in here watching Rampage with me during the main event,
Yeah.
And she said that Samoa Joe was, who is this mad ass Danny DeVito coming to the ring?
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
said, don't you dare disrespect Samoa Joe like that.
Hey,
don't
disrespect neither one of them.
You bet not disrespect Samoa Joe, calling him some Danny DeVito looking dude. Coming out to help FTR, who she's already said Dax looks like a white Steve Harvey.
Yeah,
and
man.
then she said today that if you put glasses on him, he's a bald Ned Flanders.
Yeah, man. I don't know.
We need to broaden my niece's television viewings. Clearly, good lord.
Legitimate.
I love the look on Noah's face right now. I can't tell if he's actually working
you.
on something else or he's dumbfounded.
both.
I'll be fully honest, man. I guess that freaking dick tattoo, man, more of a comedical joke than we thought, huh?
She actually
Poor
came
Joe.
over here off screen because she wanted to see the expression on Noah's face.
Yeah, just so you said it perfectly, Jay. Iron sharpens iron, steel sharpens steel. Those two will definitely be beneficial to each other. I would love if they're not actually gonna fully pull that Ring of Honor trigger, which you don't know because we don't know when they're gonna announce anything. That's a hell of a way if they're gonna spin off Ring of Honor finally, have that be a perfect way to heighten both championships, because the Ring of Honor TV Championship, even at 12 years old now, still kind of seems like it's just kind of there. Toward the end of the original run, if you're going back to the end of last year and this year when Gresham and Bandito had their unification, the TV title was just kind of there, and I don't think it really was getting a whole lot of love. And when you figure when it was launched, it was all, Daniels was about it, Generico, Eddie, they were all into it. And then then when Jay Lethal had it for, however many years it felt like. But once Jay Lethal lost it, it just became kind of there on television. And with the loss of the television thing, the title became pretty useless. So if they're going to get a slot for the TV, for Ring of Honor TV, then yeah, that title and hence Samoa Joe has a place. But for right now, let him sharpen Wardlow, because whether you compare him to Goldberg or Batista or whoever, the boy needs sharpening. He's green as grass. He definitely needs more than just, I powerbomb Wardlow strong. Nah, that don't work.
It's weird because that's the way they portray him on fucking television, and I've seen his indie work prior to WWE.
Not that way.
He's not that way.
No.
So I don't. What have they done to where he can only? Why can big beefy men only do powerbomb now?
Yeah,
this guy is as athletic as Brian Cage at this point.
I'm about to say, you did see his moonsault off the top and the step up.
He can do a goddamn swanton bomb.
Yeah, there was a glimpse of the character when that thing with Max was oh so brief, but it was there. The character is there to be harnessed and unleashed on the AEW galaxy. Again, Jericho, you stole it from us, you bastard. You didn't invent everything, Chris. Sorry. Give a shit what you all say. I appreciate Jericho as much as the JAS, but let's be real. Probably more, honestly, if we're going to be truthful about it. There's definitely something there, and as long as they don't make it about Joe getting jealous over the young guy overshadowing him like they've done with Joe in the past with other storylines, then fine. They need to just let it be what it is, and then when Tony finally has the ability to put the cartridge in that gun and pull the trigger, then the Ring of Honor championships will be better off, especially with the Kingdom coming in to go after FTR. Let's not gloss over that for a moment.
That's the next segment once we get past
that.
that.
James, I'm just, we'll get there, but the Ring of Honor championships have the potential to be something with or without Jericho as the world champion, and I think this is part of that. Again, we talked earlier about Disney having a grand plan for Marvel. I think there is a plan in that curly-haired brain. Just got to get there.
You're saying that there is a plan for Ring of Honor in this gentleman's mind.
I think there is, because whatever happened in Chicago and before that at Scrums or not, Tony's a fan. He's proven that he's a fanboy. We've all seen that side of him on television, unfortunately.
And just for the record, I keep this in the OMN brand, so I can just throw up there whenever, because that's a great facial reaction.
God,
we've all got at least one or two of those in the stockpile just to make sure they're ready to go.
Man, he actually looks fucking nuts. You know that?
Yeah. And the thing is,
people have called him crazy to a degree.
Yeah, and Tony is a fan at his crazy core. He's still a fan of the business and a fan of the history of the business. And Ring of Honor, yes, there was scandal. Yes, there was drama at the head of that particular table a lot of times over the years. But Ring of Honor's in-ring work cannot even be shit on by anybody in this room, I don't think. And if there's legitimate beef, then I'll argue it. I'll die on the hill. So as long as the person that's writing Ring of Honor and making it happen, and Josh is calling Tony Khan a mark. Wow, it must be another internet stream. Okay, cool. Moving on now.
Lord
Thank
Almighty.
you. It's like, gee, haven't heard that out of Josh's text or mouth in the last 5 minutes. So there you go.
I haven't heard that out of Twitter for the last 15 seconds. You go to open the app and you see somebody called that in some capacity.
Yeah. Hey, Mikey.
Tony's a mark. In other news, we had rain today in California, which actually does happen too.
Hi, my name is Noah Foster, and I am a mark for professional wrestling. Don't like it, bite me.
Yeah.
Let me get the XT shirt out first, Noah. We'll work on your other shirt next.
Now, fuck off with that term. Moving on.
There you go.
Damn,
Noah's salty.
I agree. I'm with
low
you.
sodium diet.
I agree.
Feel like Noah's going to be the new mascot for Morton's.
I'm sure I'm going to look at that big yellow slicker. That'll be a little odd. Anyway, if you know, you know.
It's also your shtick to not super chat us, Josh, but I'll leave that one alone.
Hey, listen.
Love you, Mansfield.
Is it really a shtick if everybody on Twitter does the same shit? I mean, ooh.
James, how many times have we said it? What is original anymore when it comes to the wrestling industry?
Or to the entertainment industry, period.
Good point.
On the Twitter industry, you know, being a troll is being a troll. You know, that's all it is. You don't get paid for it, but it's a thing.
Trolls first lived under bridges. Now trolls live in their mom's basement.
Well, that's all. Before I have the final topic still to get to, but while we're still here kind of in the midst of this AEW stuff, go ahead and take care of your topic there, James.
Well, there's a couple that I had in mind.
Yeah.
There's
Let me get a fresh drink. Hang on.
Yeah, I know. I finished my eggnog and my apple cinnamon bread. Now I got my actual juice to go.
You guys get your beverages ready and whatnot. I will say.
Let's welcome Mikey T to the group here.
Hey, what's up, brother?
What is good, guys?
We're doing good, brother.
I'm all right.
I just jumped off of a stream. I wanted to come mess with y'all tonight, man, because you know I mess.
Join the party.
I acknowledge the open mic night.
I have a mic now,
and we appreciate that, Mikey T. Go ahead, James.
So, you know, I'm not going to be as yelly in this case, believe it or not, mainly because I can't really afford it because your boy got COVID. So I got to take it a little bit easy. So, yeah. But, man, this Adam Page thing, man, I would love to know what their thought process was making this guy at any point a number one contender for the championship when he was one of the major goddamn fucking reasons this entire bull crap started in the first place. Now, apparently, they're just going full in with it and making it rear its ugly head even more by having Adam Page look like a complete man-child against Jon Moxley, and Moxley looking, by comparison, more of a man than he is in every sense of the damn word because he just screamed like a petulant freaking child. Like, that ain't cowboy shit. That's child shit. What are you doing, dude? Can anybody explain to me why they thought... we've been talking about this for months, where bringing this shit up on social media or on TV from the social media bullshit is a bad fucking idea. Please explain to me why this was done and try to put a positive spin on it.
Nope.
All right, hold on. James, rephrase that for me one more time, because I kind of you were talking about Hangman or
Hangman specifically in the promo with Moxley, where he's crying about everybody disappearing from him and then mentioning the bullshit that happened, and then freaking basically screaming in Moxley's face like, "You think I'm a child? That's all you think of me after I asked you a question. And then Moxley said, "Yeah, I think you're a fucking child, dude."
Wow, that's kind of crazy that you bring that up, because it seems he might have a problem with that, because that's what like CM Punk took a little bit of issue with, I believe, when he was like, "I'm trying to save AEW from you." It's like, really, dude? Really? You're trying, you know what I'm saying? Like, he just kind of says personal backstage shit on the mic.
There's one word I can come up for this: insecurity.
Insecurity about being a mid-carder, Noah?
That's probably one thing on that list.
I think insecurity just in the fact that he's getting blamed for all this, rightfully fucking so, and he doesn't.
It's still the guy on television.
Yeah. Like, why do you care that much, dude? And again, why do you think this is good to even bring to the surface on a kayfabe broadcast?
Well, I mean, Jeff, do you think maybe he just feels like he needs to have something important to say on television? Everybody else does.
That's a fucking great question. You know, that.
Mikey, I said this when he lost.
Gotta find it somehow.
I had the perfect narrative to spin, for lack of a better term, in my brain right now, about Adam when he lost the championship, because I did. Thank you, Josh. We appreciate that. We love giving you all this shit, but you know.
Really quickly, thank you, Josh. Here's your super chat. Love you guys. These nights are always so much fun. 2 new opinion columns on NoDQ coming soon for the Cleveland Combatant.
Cheap plug.
Make sure you check NoDQ out to see those. Go ahead, Jeff. Didn't mean to interrupt you, but we finally got a super chat, so you know.
Super chats are always good, especially on Saturday nights that aren't pay-per-views, so we appreciate it. So I was on Jack of All Trades or I was watching in the green room. I forget where it was, but one of the categories in Greg's round where he has people name a certain member of like a group, like former tag team
Horseman members
or Horseman member. The topic was AEW World Champions.
All right,
and I completely friggin' forgot that Adam Page is world champion.
Ouch.
It completely escaped my brain. I remembered Jericho, I remembered Punk, I remembered Mox, and I remembered Kenny. I could not remember Adam Page, and when somebody said that, I went, oh shit, that's right. And he had just lost the goddamn title.
Yep.
That's how poorly he was booked as champion. That's how improperly booked he's been since. Because nobody immediately goes, oh, that's right, he was champion. It has to be, oh shit, that's right, he was a world champion. And it was this fucking year that he was the champion.
Because people remember the chase more than the actual accomplishment.
Which is ridiculous, because as awesome as the chase needs to be, Stone Cold Steve Austin won the WrestleMania 14, the title reign needs to also be awesome. Stone Cold Steve Austin after WrestleMania 14. I'm watching that right now. That's the reason I'm bringing that up, is because I'm literally getting ready to go into breakdown, which is...
Guys, I've said this before, I think on this show, I hope not, but it was not Hangman Page's time to be the world champion at that point. At that point,
no, I agree with that.
After breaking up with Kenny Omega, he should have faced Miro and gone for the TNT title instead of Sammy Guevara.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. They tried to pull the trigger on Adam too soon, and the gun ended up backfiring right in everybody's face, which is dangerous. If you know anything about guns, when you have a gun backfire like that, it'll hurt the shooter more than the target.
Right, Billy?
I'll be real.
Bob?
Bang.
To a degree, I would have still went with Page to win the strap. Having a long reign was the mistake, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think it didn't make any sense for him to continue the reign after he already won the belt. And the reason I say that is he peaked when he fought Danielson. You weren't going to get any higher than that of a performer of his stature at that point, especially with how green he was as a character. So get him the belt because you told the beautiful story with Kenny and him, whatever, cool. Yeah. Then get him in a match with Danielson, have Danielson take the belt off him on the first TBS show, and then run off to the races with him and Punk or whatever.
Yeah, you got it.
That would have been infinitely fucking better because clearly we have been shown this dude cannot handle the freaking spotlight to a max degree.
Put it to you like this. Even before I started watching AEW this year, when I was first getting my toes back in the water and watching just WWE, my roommates at the time were watching AEW, and that's all that they would watch while I was watching WWE. And I'd occasionally stick my head in and see what was on because, there were guys there that I knew and liked: Punk, Danielson, Moxley, etc., Jericho, Sky, Frankie. I'd hear about who Page was fighting, and I'd be like, he's still champion? He hasn't lost the belt yet? Going up against these guys?
Should have lost it. That's the problem.
It's like, that's what I'm saying. It's like, how is this dude who, to me, lacks all kinds of charisma, still holding this title?
He was always in the shadow of the Elite. That was always like his spot.
He won the belt. He won the belt. The chase was over.
And that was it.
Gargano won the NXT title against Adam Cole at TakeOver 35, which I was live for. He then went and defended that belt and lost it right back to Adam Cole because the chase had happened. It was done. They didn't need to continue further from that point because at that point they knew trying to continue that fucking reign would diminish any value of return to the actual title.
By the way, James, botch. You saw that at NXT TakeOver New York live. NXT TakeOver 25 was where Adam Cole won
you're right.
Either one of those,
yeah.
25. So are we at 35 yet?
I don't know. Probably
we did
not.
go to 35. My NXT stopped. My NXT stopped at 36, I believe.
Oh, okay. All right.
Officially.
Good recollection.
So this is more of a kind of a throwing out there for. Thank you, JJ, for that. Again, the shirt's coming, I promise. This is more of a thing for Noah and Mikey and James than JJ because JJ wasn't watching it first. I think the problem with Adam being in that picture is the same problem with Adam being in the Elite. He wasn't elite.
No.
Kenny was. The Bucks
Young Bucks
were. Definitely the Bucks were. I mean, JJ and I saw the Bucks come up from anything but elite. Got freaking backyarders out in California, out here in the boonies somewhere. Some shit. Those guys were elite. Adam Cole is elite. Red Dragon is elite. I don't know if they're actually part of the elite, so forgive me. I'm just trying to throw it. Of everybody in that show, that group, that whatever that was called the Elite, I never really bought Adam Page as. Adam Page is very much more honorary Oos to me than actual blood.
Yep.
Like, really?
Yeah.
And I'm not shitting on
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
It just, that's the comparison I make because it's like, one of these guys just doesn't belong here. And that's very much how Page always felt with me in that group.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that he was...
when Page would come out with him, was he ever as hype as Sami Zayn coming out with the Bloodline?
No way. No way.
Because that's not the cowboy shit character. The cowboy shit character is too cool for school, right?
Bro, when the Bullet Club were at the fucking height of their popularity and I was at Ring of Honor Best in the World, he was the one that got booed.
Yeah,
the one that got booed.
Adam never really fit in because it was mentioned earlier. His charisma is just not there. And again, you know, the young. That's a. Did you spell that way on purpose? That's terrible if you did. Or if it's a botch and it's funny, so it's okay. Yeah, and again, the Bucks in TNA. Oh my Lord Jesus, were they so one-dimensional and god-awful. Kenny Omega, before he became Kenny by-God Omega, was just another wrestler that happened to be a great in-ring competitor. But he had to find that character.
Kind of like Hangman, Jeff?
What's up?
kind of like Hangman Page is a great in-ring competitor.
Well, but the thing is, I don't think Hangman ever really, and again, this is a hot take, probably going to get more calls on the bat phone for this kind of shit, but I don't think that Hangman Page's in-ring go can match up to the Bucks or Kenny or anybody in that group at the time they were the hot shit in the business, like James just said. Now,
Exactly.
I mean, maybe now because the Bucks are not young Bucks anymore. They've been beat to shit. As has
Good
Kenny.
point.
My God, Kenny's so beat up. He might as well be Kenny by God old folks home.
Yeah, I was surprised she even returned.
Paige
The dude is beyond crazy.
Dude, I forgive you there, JJ, so forgive me if you were or not. I was there when Kenny became the PWG World Champion, winning Bola and getting the championship as the prize for the tournament winner. So it was there in 2009 for him. It just hadn't clicked on that global. I mean, PWG is a global level. No, it's not. That's bullshit. He hadn't clicked in Japan or WWE or TNA at the time or whatever. And again, Josh makes the point of the night. Thank you, Josh. Other than the hardcore, die-hard New Japanners like James, who was at best in the world here in the States, nobody had even heard of Page before he became part of being the Elite and part of AEW as far as a national, even global, recognized TV personality. When they launched AEW on New Year's Day at midnight, 2019, it was Cody, it was the Bucks, and I think Kenny was there too, so forgive me if he was, I don't remember. I don't think Adam was at that video, and if he was, again, my bad. I don't remember him being there. That's the point.
Hangman Page, if you look at the entire history of the Elite / Bullet Club fiasco that is spread across the entire landscape of wrestling, if you are saying that Hangman Page is better than any of those guys, you're crazy. If you're saying that he's better than Chase Owens and Bad Luck Fale and the House of Freaking Torture, okay, then you may have a point.
I don't know about Chase.
Anything better than House of Torture. I'm just going to put that out there.
Yeah, Chase is another athlete that has not been tapped fully yet. I'll tell you that right now.
No,
Chase
well, no, yeah, that's fair.
No, that's
accurate. But
main eventer.
James, your point's valid. I did not follow New Japan a lot. No will vouch for that. I got the first time I ordered or borrowed his New Japan login was for what? Omega Jericho, because that's what I wanted to see. Right. So Bullet Club, right off the top of my head, AJ, Good Brothers, Balor, the Elite, as far as Omega, the Bucks, Page.
Cody.
Cody. See, I didn't remember Cody was part of the Bullet Club because he's gone so far beyond that now.
I guess he's only better than Gallows and Anderson.
Yeah, I wouldn't even. I'm
not sure I'll go that far.
I don't know. In-ring work, maybe, but both those guys can go. Anderson's the machine gun for a friggin' reason. And Gallows is a big, solid dude, but he's also a great wrestler. But as far as star power and name, Adam Page is at the bottom of that list. Straight up.
Yep.
And again, I don't think that's his fault.
It's not.
I really don't. I think that's Ghetto, right? Is that who books New Japan? Sorry for my complete ignorance and stupidity there.
Yeah, you're right.
That's his bad. That's his bad.
Damn,
and that's Tony's bad.
Crazy that he's at the bottom of that list. He kind of legitimately is.
And again,
compare him with all those names, yeah.
But that's the thing. They did use that, and they told a fucking great story with him and Omega using that as fuel.
Right.
The problem is you have nothing else after that.
Yeah.
They planned the course. They didn't plan afterwards.
Yeah, they just was like, well, we have to have a long reigning. We have to have a long reign now, and in reality, everybody said
no, you don't.
Until they were, no, the fuck you don't.
Going back to that, I think it would have been great if Tony Khan had brought Bryan Danielson in, because this was legitimately right after Roman Reigns would not give up the title to Daniel Bryan, and he choked him out on SmackDown.
Right, yeah.
And then Tony Khan could have been like, well, you know what we do over here? We do wrestling over here. They do that whole sports entertainment thing
They had
over
a
there.
shot.
You know what I mean? They could have
Missed
took a
opportunity.
major. That would have been the best time to put the title on Daniel
If
Bryan.
anybody deserved to be a world champion in that year, it was fucking Danielson. Absolutely. He was having 5-star matches in 2 of the most major promotions in America at that time.
Called momentum, Tony.
God. He
Why
should have had the belt.
title to a mid Carter? You got a bona fide celebrity.
Yeah.
Josh, I appreciate that. I speak to you goddamn much when I'm here as it is, but thank you for that anyway, brother.
Yeah, imagine that swerve. Heyman Adam Page doesn't win the title at Full Gear. Instead, you run back Bryan Danielson, Ken Omega. Winner is coming. Boom.
Yes.
Yeah. So
no called it. Jeff, you wanted to kind of deny it?
No. I was going to actually side in with James. You put the belt on Danielson, then turn him and Punk loose for the year.
Come on.
That would have been way better.
Here's the deal. If you do that, then there's no Punk in Chicago, that media scrum, bitching about working with fucking children, dealing with the EVPs. Because the EVPs are the world champion. Bryan is.
All right.
Yep, and the child doesn't have the championship.
So, guys, what if...
Again, butterfly effect. You pull that one thread, we don't have this dramatic bullshit summer. We don't.
But what if Hangman beats CM Punk? Is it a wasted victory, you guys? What do you think, JJ?
I think... Oh, sorry, go ahead. Go ahead, JJ.
What do y'all think, though? Is it a wasted victory? Is that a wasted pinfall on CM Punk if Hangman Page got the victory?
I would say yes, just because for as much as people were clamoring for Danielson to beat him and take the strap, considering how long Punk had gone without wrestling, everybody wanted to see Punk reascend to that throne on his terms and do the Summer of Punk the way he always wanted to do it.
Right.
But then he decided he wanted to go stage diving and jacked his ankle up and, screwed everything.
Oh,
so
my God.
In front of me and everybody.
At the Fabulous Farming.
And let's not get it fucking twisted. I mean, we can talk about how much of a man-child that Hangman Adam Page is all day long. But if we're going to talk about that, so is Phil. So is Phil.
Oh, God.
Like,
He's
this guy was legitimately not just told, ordered by the security not to fucking do that again for that exact fear of it happening.
Time out real
What
quick.
does he do? He jumps into the crowd anyway and breaks his leg.
Time out real quick. That is a hot take of hot takes. Josh, do you want to come in here and explain that?
Please bring him in here and explain that.
If you want to come in here and explain that, Josh, I will send you the
for
link.
real.
I don't think any
But that
wrestling-
is a hot take.
Ooh, man.
I get where he might be coming from, but I'll be real with you. Any wrestler with an EVP status, no thanks.
Yeah, but I'll say, when you combine the fact that you are politicking backstage while you are working out front, no.
Okay, so everybody keep in mind. Okay, so he has it in a column coming up. So he probably won't want to do everything on the air. But if he wants to come in, here's the thing we need to keep in mind if he does come in. We know what we've read.
Right.
Okay, well, okay, so then yes, so he's not coming in. Okay.
Okay.
First of all, we know what we know. We don't know everything. We wasn't there. We've been told things by different parties, different stories by different parties, right? There's still an investigation going on, so a lot of people can't say a lot of things. But I will speak with my experience with everybody involved. JJ can do the same because he had experience with, I think, most of the people involved most people that were involved in that boo shit that went down. And I don't know about the three of you, so forgive me for my ignorance there. All right. Punk's always been a man-child. Always.
Yep.
Like, he's always had that chip on his shoulder about, he feels he's the best. He's always felt that he is who he is, and he was what he was. I will say, however, about Punk before I move on to the other guys, that I totally felt his gripe at work last weekend. I'm going to be 40 in March. My trainer is 21. My trainee partner is 19. I was like, should I go get my walker before we continue? Okay, cool. Because literally, I got back. How you feeling? I'm old. I'm tired. I fucking hurt. I work with fucking children this weekend. That's exactly what I said to my mom.
Nice.
I felt the Phil pain when I got home from Disney last week.
That's fair enough.
Jesus. Now, the EVPs. What do you got? Okay. JJ and I both seen the Bucks come up, like we said, from nothing. like literal nothing out here, running their own promotion out here.
Bop into the ring with
Bop into the
Hanson.
ring, literally. With me managing on the opposite team against them. That's how
their entrance theme was Hanson Mbop.
Why?
Because
Heat.
it was so obnoxious.
Heat. Instant
It was pretty heat.
Oh, they were heel.
Okay.
Of course.
The problem is that they were so freaking goofy and good that people would sing along to it as they came to the ring.
It was so hard to be
It was
baby faces against
over.
those assholes. It really was, because like they could have freaking slit my kid's throat in the middle of the ring. They still would have got cheered for that goddamn song. I swear.
Yeah,
Anyway.
they super kick a child, then they got cheered. So, yeah.
But Jeff, did that song take them anywhere? Like, did they go to any other promotions with that song, or did they?
Oh yeah, all around SoCal.
They used it PWG.
All around SoCal.
All around SoCal, and that being part of their shtick, I think, is what got at least initially TNA's attention, because they were so over out here. But the Bucks and Kenny, I sympathize a little bit more than I do with Punk. Not because they're their big fan, their big draw was born out here. The Bucks more so, definitely, but Kenny also got a lot of credibility out here. But the Punks, the Bucks and Kenny also stuck with more than one company at a time where said company was having major struggles and didn't have to, stick with it. Should they have been in a position of power with AEW? Probably. And I think we can all agree, based on what we've read over the years, what we've seen and heard over the years, what some of us have been involved with over the years, anybody that is playing on the field should not also have a coach's headset on. That is a recipe for disaster. Period. End of sentence. It's that way in sports. It's that way in Hollywood. It's a very rare thing when a producer / head writer / director is also an effective leading person in the movie. It's very, very rare that happens. Rocky, for example. But it does work if it's the right personalities. Kenny Omega, Matt Jackson, Cody Rhodes at the time, not the right people.
No,
just not.
And Punk and Punk isn't either. Like neither, and none of those.
Okay. So where the argument comes in is, I had a real problem with what Punk said as far as, it was WWE that made him so sick that he had to go away and he couldn't go back to the same place that made him sick, which is why he went to AEW. Other than the actual being physically sick with the staph infection and the shit he had on his back that quack doctor tried to put a Z-Pack on or whatever, he left the industry because he was sick of the industry. It had nothing to do with WWE other than the actual doctor. Because if that was the case, the gripe he had in Chicago would have been null and void.
Yep.
He completely outed his own damn self with that bullshit he pulled at the media scrum. It was not WWE that made him sick. It was this entire industry that made him physically ill enough to the point where he was dying. So that right there puts me... If I have to choose a side, if I have to stand on one side or the other, then I stand with the EVPs and with them. Not saying they're better than Punk or Tony. Everybody's a goddamn idiot in this.
Yep.
I also,
including Hangman as well, who wasn't even anywhere near that.
And I will mildly concede Josh's point in the comment there about AEW being better when the EVPs had more broadened control instead of Tony consolidating the control over creative. However, I honestly think Tony panicked quite a bit when Cody decided to bounce. Because Cody has the benefit and the burden of having the creative genetics. We all know who his papa was and how creative that man could be when he was given the right platform to do what he do. There's also the dark side of Dusty, who would, book some stupid shit.
Right, yeah.
So,
Let's also not overlook the creativity of his brother.
Yeah, dude, Dustin has so much in that brain of his that when he's not gold dusting himself, dude, Like, seriously, he's got it there, which is why he should be an asset to AEW instead of just relegated to dark and elevation matches. It's bullshit.
Real quick before we continue, because it is really bugging me. What is that noise?
I was trying to figure out if it was me.
I think it is. Yeah. What is it?
Do you hear it now?
Yeah. Well, now.
No, I muted him, and I don't hear it now.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, we know it's.
It's something on your end, Mikey.
Oh, it's coming from my end.
Yeah, because I just muted you and you didn't hear it.
I was trying to see if it was because I had a YouTube, I don't have another YouTube page open now, though. Is it because I had another internet explorer?
Probably
Something interfering with the microphone, probably.
Kids to mess with it.
I feel like, Jeff, though, again, Jeff, you literally been in the business. JJ, you literally been in the business. Literally, the three of us, we've been watching the business. And as far as what we read, mostly all I've heard is literally from this platform here. And all your points make sense. At the end of the day, Phil Brooks, the business, turned him into this. Again, this business can make you or break you. It's equally challenging both physically and mentally, to the point that literally you become your own worst enemy. Phil Brooks literally became that at AEW All Out Media Scrum, and I don't know if he can recover from that.
You either die a hero or live long to see yourself become the villain. Punk was hailed as a hero when he returned to wrestling, and now his career has died as the villain because of what he pulled. I mean, I hate to keep referencing The Dark Knight, but it was a goddamn good movie for a reason.
Fair. James, what is this that you just shared with me?
Oh, this is for the last topic, but I wanted to wait until everybody was done with their point.
To go back off Jeff's point, that's also the day, the bet. And now we got Gotham Knights coming, the next generation. Hey-o.
There you go. Yeah, I wanted so bad to think that something positive would come out of what happened in Chicago. But other than Moxley getting the belt back, which, that might not be the best thing for him because he was supposed to take a how long vacation? So that may burn him out on the other side of that. 5-year extension, wifey gets a job. I'm cool with Renee being on any television program I watch because I love
Renee Paquette adds so much when it comes to professionalism for that company's outlook, especially when it comes to the backstage segments. I was literally listening to her live sessions where she was talking about how AEW really became a thing, and more so was not Tony Khan involvement. It was not any backstage. It was just internal talks between her and Jon Moxley privately when it came to the fact she missed being involved in the wrestling business to a degree. She
is an asset wherever she ends up, be it on television, be it on a podcast. Her podcast is really something. I love it. It's one of my listen-tos every week. It really is. I love it.
Same.
To tie a bow a little bit on this topic, at least as far as I'm concerned. Number one, thank you, Josh.
Yes.
Have a good night, and thank you. I will do my best to keep control. The positive that came out of that scrum, in my opinion, is that I feel like Tony went into his office, sat down and had a long talk with himself, and he started pulling the straps off of the former WWE talent and started putting it on the people that had been down since day one-ish.
Exactly.
Jericho's the ROH champion. Garcia is the pure champion.
Yep.
Joe is the TV champion. You've got the world title on Moxley. You've got Wardlow. You've got the Acclaimed
Brothers.
You've got the Death Triangle.
Orange Cassidy.
Yeah, you've got Cassidy.
Ring of Honor Tag Champions. So
Orange Cassidy, the biggest achievement as champion in AEW.
With the exception, I think, of Joe and Tony Storm, you can't really name a person who had just come over from their WWE run and is still a champion.
Right.
And Joe has got ROH blood like through and through those veins.
God, yeah.
So you can kind of cast that one to the side.
Yeah, and I think Tony wasn't quite 100% branded WWE because her run there was always tumultuous at best.
Yeah.
Agreed, but considering that, she was the cast-off and she's still interim champion, I mean, you see they got the titles off of Swerve and Keith Lee to put them on the Acclaimed. They got the ROH title off of Claudio to put it onto Jericho.
Yeah. But to argue that, I only think Claudio wasn't there sooner because they had him locked down real tight.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe so.
I think he would have jumped a lot sooner if he could have.
I mean, we heard what Claudio said. What really was the proverbial straw that brought the camel's back. He wasn't even involved in the freaking Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I mean you can't find a spot in 30 freaking people. That for Claudio Castagnoli, that's absolutely horseshit.
You can find a spot for Shane O'Mac. You know what? I'm not going to rant about January. That's not what today's about.
Yeah, man, holy shit. Let's not turn back the clock.
The Royal Rumble rabbit hole would send us into freaking a 4-hour show. Let's just not even bother.
If I could turn back
we're already about to hit the 2-hour mark.
Yeah,
Tony Storm is going to be in Massachusetts in a few days.
Oh, there you go. Go get some Tony pictures. I like that. Looks good, brother.
About to hit the 2-hour mark, and James still has one topic. I still have a final topic. So
this is all my night. The ball rolling. Shoot, I'm just working on church stuff. Let's keep going.
All right,
James. So what am I about to bring up here?
You are about to bring up the bullshit drama that has happened between Saraya and the Dirt Sheets.
Yes,
Saraya.
James with the dirt, baby.
Yeah,
Saraya. Also, fuck Dirt Sheets.
My boy from the UK, Firelord Kuzan, has been the righteous troll on Twitter a little bit. Although he made some actually really good points, so that's why I'm showing him here.
Right.
So, Saraya tweeted on October 12th, Dirt Sheet podcasters and an old man that loves to have his voice heard, even if it's full of shit, Cornette, loves to talk about me. You're welcome for the clicks and views. And then Firelord Kuzan, which is his name on Twitter, go follow him, Firelord Kuzan X. You're not helping yourself by tweeting shit like this out like a child. Get it together and be a professional. And I just said, yeah. Right after, not even apparently like days after this was tweeted and this exchange happened. Then Sean Ross Sapp, our boy Sean Ross Sapp. I have to bring this up, dude.
Crap.
Damn it.
You pulled a fuck. You pulled a fuck here. I'm sorry.
Everybody does it.
So Saraya Fightful Wrestling tweeted out, Saraya confirms she spoke to Triple H before signing with AEW about returning to the WWE. And Sean Ross Sapp gloating says, I do love it when talent confirms our reporting. I've been told by Redditors they don't like the self-congratulatory stuff about Fightful Select. Sorry, I'm very proud of our work and community, and that's not gonna stop. XOXO. Kuzan writes right after that, because let's be honest, he was kind of far up his own ass here. Love you, Sean, but you kind of were here. Bro, you literally got signed to by the Fed. Like, this is Braun Strowman levels of petty. And then he goes, what? And then he just linked them to Deadlock podcast where they talk about the Braun Strowman thing. My response was, this doesn't help, Sean. No disrespect. Don't see how this how this helps civil discord when you do shit like this. Granted, it's your job. Congrats on getting a story right, but I don't think it's smart to be acting childish about it. This obviously wasn't just patting yourself on the back. Come on. Also, wrestlers are going to deny stories all the time. Obviously, they won't inform the public on and will attack people. 2 wrongs aren't going to make a right, bruh. Just be the bigger man and do you, is what I wrote there. And Kuzan had like one more tweet on that thread saying, Yes, while you're in a better position than most, you pay your bills with the stuff you need to think about what you're doing with your publications. Your posts impact those who you talk about. You can't just act with recency bias. Take some more responsibility and think long term. I'm surprised he didn't add, hey, remember, we're all human beings like Punk did. That was from my boy Kuzan, and other than the what comment by Sean, didn't respond. And then he said, and then he went to talk about some other crap. And then my boy just kind of trolled him a little bit, just chatting shit, saying, bro, what? We just had a discussion 24 hours ago. Sean, do you ever listen to us? Don't give me a sarcastic reply and then just disappear like a teenager. Sean Ross Sapp.
The random person outside Good Morning America trying to draw attention of the audience outside the glass window. Jesus.
Oh my God. I love my boy from the UK, man. That's
what kind of response and then disappear like a teenager?
Yeah, that was the best. Yeah.
What
and then just screaming for Sean Ross Sapp's name, man. Like, obviously, he's chatting shit for those who don't know my boy, but that was still fucking funny as hell.
Yeah, he's brilliant. I'll give him that. That was hilarious.
It was. Now, look, there was points. It's funny because he basically just said, "You need to grow up, Paige, and dirt sheet writers, you need to fucking grow the fuck up as well and take some responsibility from time to time, just a little bit, just slightly." So I don't know. I kind of agreed. I saw where Sean was coming from. I just didn't think he needed to be petty about it. If that makes sense. Because again, it goes back to what I've been saying for months. I think it does more harm than good. Even if you're justified. Even if you are justified, I feel like it does more harm than good. And Jack kind of said the same thing. It's just like, you don't need to go this fucking crazy with it. Like, people are going to do what they're going to do. You know what I mean? You can't just go and fucking be like, you know, pissy because people are talking online about you. That's just going to be the nature of the beast, especially in wrestling. Your job is to ignore it and make some damn money, you know, for the most part.
Accurate.
You're right.
But again, James, sensitivity.
But you know,
where a single word could cause a trigger.
But like same occurs with Sean Ross Sapp here. Like you know, you got to apply that same principle. We got to be fair here. Like this is, you know, and that that's not just to Sean, by the way. That's to anybody that isn't named Aaron Rift. And I only say Aaron at least lately because he just reports all the shit that people do. If you really think about it, that's all Aaron really does right now. But like, fucking all these dirt sheet writers that are reporting news, there's a point. There's a point to what my boy said. You know, it's not as black and white as you see it. Even if you're justified, like, just be the bigger man and grow up and just do you. Nose to grindstone type shit.
And all they're hearing is the teacher from Charlie Brown sounding like a trumpet based on the words you just said.
Anybody else that feels the need to comment? Because I know some people are friends with Sean Ross Sapp. I have no ill will to Sean, by the way. I want to make that very clear. I worked with what's his name? Steven Jensen for intro for a show he does with Doug, RBD Tito for Life on Twitter. Or All Elite Doug on Twitter, I think is his name now. I did an intro for them like ages ago. So I'm very cool with people in Fightful. I have no ill will towards Sean. I agree with this point. That's
I mean,
all.
you were just supporting an argument here to somebody who met Sean Ross Sapp live last year at Slammiversary. Seemed like a pretty cool, down-to-earth dude. I understand where you're coming from, but at the end of the day, you look at, you know, reactive nature of a publication and maybe somebody's retort or statement. Because at the end of the day, journalism is a career of its own. People are going to write what they want to say. People are going to believe to a degree what they're going to write in their narrative as well. But they might not necessarily see how it affects not necessarily who they're writing about, but also who it reacts to. So, again, I can see it from both sides. But, again, JJ, thank you. If common sense was common, more people would use it. That's about as blurred as a word as... What's the weirdest word that people think of nowadays? I don't know what trends anymore. I'm not even on Twitter that much, but yeah.
New T-shirt coming soon to the Jeff Meacham shop.
Yeah. At the end of the day, people are people.
Right. We're all human beings, you know. One thing
as far as I know, I'm sure Twitter's infested with bots, but then again, you know.
Well, Twitter is. We know because an automated match bot exists. I see it every day on Twitter, even though I don't follow the fucking thing. So. Jet.
Too funny how your friend responded like
that was
you're not listening to me.
I loved it. And he just, by the way, I can tell you for a fact he obviously doesn't care. He was literally playing like games and like live streaming like right after he made these tweets. So
yeah, I could picture
he was
that.
clearly trolling. So good
How
on,
many
good
of
on
the
Jay.
bots on Twitter are vacant?
Right. That's pretty good. We got no comments, says Jeff. Why? That's fair. I understand. If nobody wants to comment because they're friends with Sean, I get it. I have my thing with it.
It's not friends with Sean at all. It's just I ain't getting in none of this shit.
I think. Can we agree that at least the discourse on this social media plane between the Dirt Sheets and Soraya are doing more harm than good at the very least?
I mean,
that's mainly the point.
I think the discourse between people on Twitter and people on Twitter is ruining people on Twitter.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you. This is why I don't.
There's my
on
comment.
The damn app.
That's fair.
This is why Noah logs onto social media, says good morning, everybody, and then logs off of social media for 23 hours.
Yep.
Yeah,
then he comes back on for 15
Noah.
minutes to see who replied to his statement, and then he turns it back off.
Back. At the end of the day,
He
you
gives us
just show
15
kindness
minutes.
because that's the way you should be in this world. As far as actually being on social media beyond that, oh, there's a wrestling show on? Let's talk about it. Oh, there isn't? Okay, bye, see ya.
Did you see Halloween Ends, Jeff?
I did.
We're going to stay away from Halloween conversation, though, because not everyone has seen it.
Not everyone. Did JJ, you didn't see it?
We'll talk off air, Mikey, I promise.
I've been meaning to see your Scream 2 review, JJ. That's probably my favorite Scream movie.
Yeah, so JJ's doing the binge right. He's actually watching the entire saga in order.
Of Halloween?
So, but in the process, he's making my ass wait to talk to him about it until he gets it done. Because forgive me if I'm wrong, Jay. Thank you, I appreciate that. I also agree with his comment before that too. But we'll get to that in a second.
If it's the one about the movie, I have it starred because it's off topic. So
cool. Yeah, definitely want to bring that up because it's
the day
awesome.
someone actually super chats $500, the day I'll actually do a live movie watch along with JJ.
There you go.
There we go.
And the thing is, up until he was getting ready to do the reviews of the saga for his month of slashers here, he had not watched the Thorn trilogy 4 through 6. Yeah. So I'm like sitting here going, what? Yup. He hasn't got through it yet. But what he does,
what series? Halloween 4 through 6?
Yes. So Return of, Revenge of Michael Myers, and then Curse of Michael Myers. He had not seen in their entirety yet.
Well, I would think that JJ only would need to see the first Halloween. What I showed my girl, well, I didn't get to see her. I didn't get to show her 78, but I showed her both Rob Zombie movies. But I think you could see 78, both Rob Zombies, and then 2018, 2021, or whatever it was.
Right, Kills. Right, yeah, Kills. Yeah. Well, no. What I'm saying is he's part of his 31 days of terror, spooky, whatever. He's doing every single movie, starting with 78 all the way through the entire Myers timeline, including 3, which has nothing to do with Myers, and also a couple of fan films we've picked up along the way. So he's got, like we talked about, 14 straight days at the end of October of just the Michael Myers universe. Yeah. But up until he decided to review them for this month, he had not seen those 3 movies in their entirety. So he's going back and watching through everything. That way, when he gets to the end of ends, it all is fresh in the brain, and he and I are going to pop on and do it. I'm actually going to join him for the review of ends because it's the end of the saga. I wanted to be on there with him for Renegades reviews. So
it's going to be dope. That's going to be dope.
Anyway, he has not seen it yet. Noah doesn't care. James, I don't know if you saw it.
That's why Noah's gone dark.
I have not seen it yet, so yeah.
Okay.
Noah,
so my
Noah turned his light off because we've lost Noah again.
I probably will not
man knows nothing about this word that you speak of.
Because I am flat broke. So
well, there you go. Well, it is on the cock for the record. So
okay, then I'll fucking watch it. I have Peacock.
It's on the cock on the paid tier. If you're a WWE Network person, you've got the paid tier. So
hey Noah, you should watch Halloween. You should watch Halloween with me just for the lulz.
He would have to watch the 2018 version at least, then the 2021.
Well, see what I told you. We're going off into.
I
You'd
would be
have
the
to watch,
same
like-
way with my friend when he took me to go see Solo. Just sitting there looking like this, not reacting at all.
Solo was in the Star Wars spinoff?
Yeah, it was the
Well, that was a drizzling shit of a freaking spinoff, to be fair. God.
My colleague surprised me you could call it that. Took me to go see this movie.
Man, he should have.
the hell
taken
is
you to
this?
see Deadpool.
That is a horrible movie to take somebody to see. No, that movie actually kind of flopped.
Yeah,
Seriously,
honestly.
If you're not familiar with the Star Wars universe, that's the wrong introduction.
Pretty much.
Man.
But
That's my
anyway,
colleague.
reeling things back in.
So Noah, how you feel about that? I'm supposed to feel about this?
I feel nothing.
rebuttal.
I feel nothing.
But
you
yeah,
should have
as far as
just
the
gone to
current-
Deadpool that year. That Deadpool.
As far
was
as the
better.
current movies, as long as you see 1978, the original movie, the new trilogy, you're good to go. Anyway,
Why not 2, Jeff? Why do they keep disqualifying 2 when they're doing the whole hospital killing?
because two, and again, I'm sorry, Noah. 2 is because they threw in the wrinkle of Laurie being Michael's sister. They've eliminated that part of the story within the new trilogy. She's not a sister anymore, so that wrinkle would make no goddamn sense.
Yeah.
Anyways, reeling things back in.
I will say about Sean Ross Sapp, do not get mad about Jeff. Jeff is not the person to get mad. If you gotta get mad at anybody, get mad at this motherfucker.
Oh, dude, it's not even about the fact that I'm on screen. It just is what it is. He and I had a conversation. Aaron and I had a conversation. Birch and I had a conversation after a couple Sundays ago, and that's where I'm leaving Mills because I've settled my piece. I've had my say about it, and it is what it is. So I will never be the channel, the network that says you cannot say this on my channel because I'm the fuck.
That's my channel.
Same,
Well,
and like I'm not monetized yet, so whatever.
Well, I am, and I still don't give a fuck. So there you go.
Go check out my boy Kuzon on Twitch. X Firelord
Please
Kuzon.
don't say that on my channel, dude.
Anyway,
it exists for a reason.
All right, let's see if we can cast it one more lure into the water. See if we can reel it in this time, JJ.
Yeah, we're
so good. So wrapping things up this week, we had quite a few returns.
Yeah.
We had obviously Gallows and Anderson returning on Raw.
What the hell? Gallows looks different.
We had the announcement of Renee Paquette being All Elite.
Oh,
So good.
God. She was wearing leather.
Stop it.
We had the announcement that this coming week on Raw, Elias would return.
I don't think he's coming back.
What?
Elias had more comebacks than Michael Myers.
I love how this
Elias has had more comebacks than Big Show, big face and heel turns.
His A is just a Star Trek logo flipped upside down.
Oh my God, it is. No,
it's
actually
just a
upside down.
Star Trek logo upside down.
Dude, I just don't think he's coming back. I think they might do the whole Veer thing with him.
Oh my God.
Drift lawn and prosper.
And then in addition to all that, we had Sean Spears return.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Oh, that
We
was
had
awesome
the debut of the Kingdom on Rampage.
Thy kingdom come.
I missed it.
To which, Cece asked who the Wish version of Shania Twain was on the entry ramp there.
Damn.
Wait,
Shit.
what? Huh?
In reference to Maria Kanellis.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Who is the Kingdom? Mike Kanellis and who?
Mike Bennett,
Bennett.
Maria Kanellis,
And Maria
Matt
Kanellis.
Taven. Jesus
Matt
Christ.
Taven.
WWE
Hey,
slave names.
Who's Matt
No.
Taven?
Matt
He is a
Taven
Ring
is
of Honor World Champion and Ring of Honor original.
Hey, you
Oh
can't.
my
You can't.
God.
Listen, no, man. You can't do this. You
Why
can't do
does
this.
Tony
Matt
keep doing
Taven.
this?
Matt Taven is a boy of ours. New England has got to stick together, and that boy won us a world championship from Ring of Honor. All right, so we
Yeah,
got to
but
be
dude-
supportive. Nobody else will. We gotta.
Dude, this man signs Mike Bennett and he has Tony Nese already. Why would you not put them into a tag team? Mike
Because they're
Bennett.
already a tag team.
Mike
He's got
Bennett.
Josh
he's
Woods
already-
tagging
yeah.
along. He's
No,
like
of
him.
course. They got to hire some random guy to work with Tony Nese and pay him. And now they got to hire some random guy to work with Mike. What is Tony Khan doing?
Hey, listen, Josh Wood's pretty good though.
We've gone off the
It's
rails.
all right. It's okay.
What I'm doing is I'm creating Ring of Honor from the ground up.
Why can't Mike Bennett and Tony Nese be the team?
All right.
I think
my God, Mikey.
I think Jeff is still kind of hung up on the Shania Twain thing.
Well, okay. So first of all, you're gonna need to have to fucking talk after we're off the air because second of all,
keep in mind though that this all happened after the match where White Steve Harvey, who with glasses would be a bald Ned Flanders, fought the Wish version of Jason Momoa, and then the Mad Danny DeVito came down to ringside. So
wait,
they were already on
it.
Both of them were going back and forth.
She should be a manager in wrestling. She'd make it big. She
Okay,
talks
so
all
conference
the shit.
call after the show. Cool. Okay. Okay. So first of all, second of all, Mikey, is there anywhere out there, Noah, James, somebody that we can have access to the Kingdom at their height in Ring of Honor that we can educate this boy?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, you are missing out. That's a pretty damn good.
Just
shit.
because you've seen Mike and Maria as the Miracle on Impact, no. Just because you've seen
that was awful.
Just because you've seen Mike and Maria defeat Mike for the 24/7 championship WWE, multiple bullets, no. Him and Matt and Maria and who else is in the group?
Cole.
Adam Cole, baby.
Adam Cole, baby. That group in Ring of Honor, at a time that Ring of Honor, granted, it wasn't getting a lot of love compared to the early days, but man, they were solid. Dude. So the only reason that Tony Nese got paired up with any damn buddy in AEW, the only reason he got hired in AEW in the first damn place, with all respect to Tony, because that guy's got abs I don't even think exist on this flabby piece of shit body of mine, but Tony Nese was the star of 205 Live. Cool on him. Okay. Ring of Honor made Matt and Mike and revitalized Maria when she was just a freaking dipsy, airhead bimbo in WWE. Let's not kid ourselves. And she's so much more than that as a person and as a character on television and wrestling, period. Right. So that's the reason. Tony Nese is awesome. I've always liked Tony. I thought he could have been so much more than just another 205 Live cast off, and he has that.
Jeff! Oh, here we go.
Yep.
What happened?
You lost connection.
We just lost.
Oh, I did? Okay. Yeah, Matt Taven is on another level from Tony Nese, and he and Mike have been partners for a long time. Yep. And Mike and Maria are married, of course, so they had that chemistry anyway.
OGK, Mike Bennett and Matt Taven, current Impact World Tag Team Champions.
And what you saw in Rampage is the tip of that iceberg, and I just look forward to the collision between FTR and the Kingdom, and hopefully it's not Titanic level where FTR sinks.
Are you kidding me? That match is gonna fucking roll, man.
If you're gonna follow up with Ring of Honor FTR after the Briscoes program, this is definitely the next best team to do it with.
Oh, yeah. Seriously, the Briscoes and FTR, the Briscoes.
You got me.
Yes. Maria posted this on her social media today. This is literally Maria's life in a bottle here, for real.
Yeah. Today, I feel blessed and grateful. I have worked for 5 of the top wrestling companies in the world: AEW, WWE, ROH, New Japan, and Impact. I am 40 years old. I have 2 children. I have been married for 8 years. I have been on TV every year for 18 years. I am the CEO of an all-women's wrestling show, but grateful is not a big enough word to describe this feeling. Thank you to my husband, who is not afraid of an ambitious woman.
And
respect, Maria,
not only that,
Canelo.
Somebody on Twitter had the gall. I don't know if they were being an asshole or what, but they corrected her and said that Brandy Rhodes had done it first.
What?
What? Brandy has. Huh? She's worked for every single one of those companies too.
So what?
No. Dude, Mike, you're killing me tonight. Jesus Christ. The point is,
she was not a.
But Brandy Rhodes doesn't have the 18 years of longevity.
Yeah, that's very true. But and you could argue that, she's bounced around so much because she's not reliable, and maybe that's the case. But the point is,
at least we know her from each show.
What happened?
At least we know her from each of the shows she mentioned. I didn't know Brandy Rhodes when she was never in WWE, first of all.
Yes, she was. She was a ring announcer. Yes, she sure was. JJ and I met her at SummerSlam Access 2011, Jay?
Think so. 2010 or
Yeah,
2011.
ring announcer. So now that's in the WWE. Okay.
Yes. Compared to what Maria did prior to 2007.
Maria was a manager.
Okay. Maria prior to 2007, I'm saying. What was her big meaty thing? Not a goddamn thing. She was out there for tits and ass. That's what she was. Well, and I'm not saying that's what she is or what she ever really was up here. The point I'm trying to make is that Maria has been around long enough, and because of her being around and meeting Mike and having them come together, Mike has become a better person. Mike has recovered from a horrible addiction. Matt Taven has been able to. He's never been WWE, but again, we all talk about it. Just because you don't make it to WWE doesn't mean you're not a success in professional wrestling and sports entertainment. Granted, Maria had much more high-profile storylines as time went on. But if you look at that reel clip she put up on Instagram, it took a while for her to really get her legs underneath her. There's JJ wearing, I think, my WWE championship, if I remember right, with Brandy, and that was Eden Styles.
Where is that, JJ?
2011.
Yeah, because that was the Summer of Punk.
The Summer of Punk. That wasn't, because he never made it in a goddamn pay-per-view during that whole time.
Was Brandy ever on NXT television?
She was on WWE television.
No, I'm talking about as a competitor, Jeff. I'm not talking about
because she wasn't hired as that in WWE.
Okay, so she started training after she left, and then she just put us through all that in AEW.
She's not wrong.
He is just.
She's not wrong here. No.
He's out of line, but he's not wrong.
I go to Maria.
I was not forced to watch Maria on television.
With Awesome Khan's help, and then creating the nightmare, whatever the hell.
Oh my God!
So you mean that's almost as bad as Maria winning Impact's Knockout World Championship by having somebody else? Oh wait, she did that too.
No. That's not even as bad compared to what Brandy put us through.
Why? Why isn't it as bad?
Because Brandy just put us through
the same goddamn thing.
And then she was like, she's like Eva Marie in the ring, like Eva Marie on her face.
Jesus.
Jesus. Who has watched Eva Marie's matches? Because they're like Brandy Rhodes's.
I mean, yeah.
Okay, hold on.
There goes Jeff. Hold on. Real quick.
Jeff off his own network. Congratulations,
no, wait. In the interest of fairness, I think the point that Mikey is making, and he might not even realize he's making this point, but Maria wasn't necessarily booking her own segments on a week-to-week basis. Brandy was. There is kind of a point there.
Yeah, and that's where because at the end of the day, Brandy put herself in those spots.
A lot of that fucking turmoil.
Personally. All right? Maria was just literally doing a roll to try and push something forward.
Who else returned JJ?
We totally took that topic way off the context of what it was supposed to be, because the Kingdom coming back, and Mikey was arguing that he didn't know who Matt Taven was. That's what it really was about. And all I can do with Mikey is encourage you to look up Kingdom OGK stuff from Ring of Honor prior to WWE re-signing Mike and Maria.
Jeff, you got me 100% on the Kingdom. I'm with you guys now. I was totally wrong about that.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But Brandy Rhodes and Impact? Please.
Okay. Yeah, no. I think we know.
Better than Maria.
I think some people disagree, but we understand your opinion now a lot better. JJ.
We're just like, stop making it. We understand your opinion.
Brandy was only an Impact for a cup of coffee because Cody's only there for a cup of coffee himself.
And
so
he was the one doing all the work. He was challenging Moose.
Right.
God, that Cody run in Impact was worthless.
Yes,
James
we're
over here
trying,
trying to
JJ.
throw
We're
it back.
trying. Between
okay, let's do the time
between
warp
Maria being
again.
called Shania Twain and comparing Brandy or Maria to Eva Marie, I'm all fucking verklempt
I'm
here.
almost getting over COVID, and you guys almost had me dying from fucking asphyxiation because I was laughing so hard. Jesus.
Well,
Noah, you were saying?
Cheeseburger to Eva Marie, and this whole thing went to Armageddon. So
I was gonna say, you know, to steal a
Brandy out
phrase
from that.
from Jeff's old co-host, the show has gone butt fucky.
Right. Jesus.
you know what, JJ? Let's put it out there. There's one or two things that has to happen on every open mic night. At least one of the two. I either say my quote or you say your quote. You said yours.
Yeah, there's butt fucky. Anyway, speaking of butt fucky, who else returned?
We had gone through the names there. That was the majority of it all. It was
there we go. Good.
Luke
good.
Gallows
and
like
Anderson.
Good.
Yeah.
Which, you know, I don't know how long term they're going to be back for. Like, I have a feeling they only signed like a 1-year deal. Just enough to get AJ through this Judgment Day thing.
Yep.
And then take back off because Anderson had made it more than clear he had zero desire to come back.
Yeah.
Isn't he still a New Japan champion right now?
He is still the never overweight champion. And he's supposed to be defending against Hikuleo on November 5th.
Which is still happening. I believe he's still going to be defending it until Wrestle Kingdom, where he's going to drop the belt. From
Yeah, from what I've heard is that
that's big.
I've heard that that was part of the stipulations of his contract was that he still was going to perform at the November show, and he's still going to perform at Wrestle Kingdom.
That is.
You want to talk about a forbidden door?
Yeah, nobody's talking about this.
That is Hunter
that's
in that
huge
chair. That's exactly what that shit is.
Yeah, and only Hunter would do that
something-
and make that happen. Only he could.
If
Sorry, Jay, go
Hunter
ahead.
could pull something for the Rumble out of this to help with some cross promotion, figuring that Anderson's defending the belt in November, and when is Wrestle Kingdom usually?
January 4th, the number one day of my professional wrestling year as a fan that I always look forward to because it begins that year of wrestling for me.
So there you go. I mean, hot off the heels of him, in theory, dropping the title, if whoever he drops it to could make an appearance in the Rumble to kind of help further or even put that exclamation point on the feud.
Well, there's
No.
also this, JJ. Let's just put it out there. We are now 100% proceeding in WWE booking with only Triple H Creative at the helm.
I know. I'm beyond ecstatic for it because at the end of the day, while I was already back in the saddle, so to speak, it's brought two fans back that I know of. And they're both in this room with us right now.
I can't deny that. I will say it here, and you could timestamp it. WWE, once again, is more interesting to me.
There you go.
They need to put
You know,
the
it may still be not Noah's NXT, damn it, but the main roster product has brought him back.
You know
to a
what?
degree. I still don't have Fox, so I keep up with SmackDown on YouTube, but I'm always going to be Team Blue.
I'll be honest, and here's an impromptu question: should it be the old NXT?
No.
I don't
because
think. I don't
again,
think it needs to be.
No, it doesn't.
No, it
I
doesn't.
think everything in life needs to evolve. And
Right.
when
NXT should be the main roster. That's what we've been complaining about for goddamn years.
and if you think about it, a lot of moves have been made lately to bring those talents up to the main roster. You just had Legado come up. You've got Solo Sikoa. You've got Toxic Attraction bouncing back and forth.
Roxanne.
Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez are supposed to be coming on to Raw and SmackDown to pick poisons going into their big match at NXT Halloween Havoc.
Yep.
You know, you've got a lot of stuff coming. You know, I have a very strong feeling that Carmelo Hayes is going to lose this ladder match, and him and Trick will probably be brought up to the main roster.
I can see that.
Yep.
I can see
Whether
that.
they keep them separate, whether they put them with the Street Profits, whether they put them with Hit Row, who knows what they could do with them.
Maybe they could be their own ad and you actually have another freaking tag team.
Yeah,
Right.
Save
You
him.
know, like I said, keep them separate, or, you know, kind of buffing out some more like stables here.
Yep.
And rumor has it,
there's a lot of stuff going on. Like,
the biggest thing they could do, JJ, is keep NXT the way it is. They're not going to take it back off USA and put it back on network only, because whatever ratings they draw, it still draws them ratings. So Comcast is not going to take them off television. It is what it is.
They're basically like, we don't have Psych anymore, so NXT instead.
I mean, without going down a big old rabbit hole, that kind of is the point. But at the same time, NXT was always its best when it was the developmental territory, because we would see who's going to come up in the future on Raw, from Raw and to Raw and SmackDown. Excuse me. I still say NXT was at its best when it first debuted on the network, and I dare say even before that, when it was, you had to dig for that mucker futher to find it, because you had Jim Ross on play-by-play with Regal popping in here and there. You had Dusty Rhodes as the general manager, and then JBL after him. You had a good, solid 2 years of, damn, I missed this. Where the hell was this? And now it's on the network.
Absolutely.
Now, but it was really well done, and it was at its best when everybody was still developmental, because they were hungrier. They wanted that Raw spot. They wanted that SmackDown spot. They wanted the opportunity to be on a premium live event. They wanted that glimmer of hope that they'd be in the Royal Rumble or at WrestleMania or on a Survivor Series team. The guys during the 2.0 years, with respect to JJ, because I realize that is your NXT, and I happen to like the product myself the last couple of years, but they were hungrier and they were more likely to be better because they had to be, to impress Triple H, to impress the people in charge of creative at the time, to impress the guys that had already been called up and were looking to the future, looking down from that main roster, like a Roman Reigns, like a Seth Rollins, like a John Moxley when he was Dean Ambrose. Those guys set the tone for call-ups from FCW NXT. It's a hard road. It's a hard shoe to, it's a hard road to follow on. And the guys from 2014 to 2019 did it very well. So it doesn't have to be the old NXT. JJ, you made a great point. Everything in life has to evolve. What did Hunter say in that promo? Just like in life, everything in wrestling evolves, and if you don't adapt, you perish.
That's evolution. But again, with the way that they transferred in from it, but
I think the main point being is, like, the main roster feels like Triple H's NXT in booking philosophy. And I say that because it's like all NXT really was, if you think about it, when Triple H was booking it, is take the kayfabe that was already laid out in front of you and just make it better and weave it to your benefit. That's all it is.
Yep.
That's all it is.
There is a reason that Triple H has become the personality and has the reputation he does of the members of the clique. Think really hard about that for a minute. There were 5 key I can't see my hand on screen. 5 key members of the clique. Shawn Michaels, creative as hell, but had his demons and couldn't keep his shit together to really harness it until like now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Scott and Kevin, both unbelievably brilliant. Had hands in the cookie jar in WCW. But in their putting their hands in the cookie jar, they also put their fingernails in that same cookie jar and poisoned the recipe. Sean Waltman is one of my favorite people in the world. I've known and loved that man for over 15 years. He'll tell you himself he don't want to be at that booking table. He don't want no part of that shit.
I don't blame him. At all.
And one of the originators of bad nuclear heat.
Yeah,
there's a reason it's called X-Pac heat.
Yeah, he enjoys popping in, making the appearance like I did on Monday night for as brief as it was, and he's good on going back. He's going to be at WrestleCade for the first time in years this year, and that's what he likes to do. He's very much like Robin, that he doesn't want to travel over God's creation anymore and do the book. He just wants to pop in when he wants to and not have to be obligated to shit. So, very much like Kevin now, very much unlike Shawn and Triple H now. Shawn and Triple H enjoy being part of the creative process. Shawn Michaels is such a brilliant dude, and he's perfectly suited for being not the guy, but at the right hand of the guy. And Triple H is so suited to be that guy. I'm way kissing Hunter's ass here. It's so weird from 20 years ago when I was all up in his shit about being the Reign of Terror and everywhere. But it's the truth.
It's funny because we realize now it wasn't even him booking most of that shit in the Reign of Terror.
Well, right. You know, we're so quick to jump on.
But it wasn't his creative direction.
Exactly.
No, and you remember, 20 years ago, we were all younger, far more stupid, and just wanting to lash out and bitch at something about something, right?
I like the Triple H run from back then. You know,
so there you go. But see, that's,
there were parts of it that I think
on it too.
I think there's parts of the Reign of Terror that nobody really has an issue with, you know. But I think that there's other parts of the Reign of Terror, and specifically I come to the WrestleMania match against Booker T.
Yes.
Build up to that.
Where everybody has an issue with the Reign of Terror.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, Goldberg as well, although I don't think that was really a Hunter call. That might have been a Vince call, too.
You know, I mean, Goldberg had the belt for a cup of coffee, but then Hunter took it back. Scotty Steiner, I am not his biggest fan of the world. He should have had the belt for at least the same amount of time as Goldberg did during that reign.
It was the wrong timing, though, JJ. There was WrestleMania season. They didn't want to put it on him. Jeff, did they have an opponent for Scott Steiner at WrestleMania that year? Other than
No.
No.
I can tell you for a fact no, because I'm literally that Mania 19 is like one of my favorite Manias.
Hold on, what about Angle? What about Angle, James? Why not do Angle and Steiner? That
because Angle and Brock fucking Lesnar.
Angle and Brock, yeah. It was you already you know who Steiner versus Angle would have just been Brock Angle Diet. You know what I mean? Like it's
exactly.
Here's the thing: they brought Scotty in at Survivor Series 2002. I believe is by the following summer he was in that program with Test. That's how far projection they had on Scott Steiner. Oh well, it's Scott Steiner, so let's sign and bring him into New York City at Survivor Series and have him create a buzz. He wasn't even on the fucking Mania card. He wasn't even booked into it.
Maybe JJ's right though. Maybe give him the title at TLC or whatever it was in December.
Armageddon, I think. Armageddon or Vengeance.
And then let him get it back by February.
Well, what I would have done based on the way it laid out was JJ says give it to him for a cup of coffee. Okay, cool. Have him win the match at the Rumble, have Evolution do it anyway, and screw him at No Way Out.
Right.
There's not screwed ups anyway because Hogan got screwed because of Vincent Rock. The only person that didn't get screwed out of their victory babyface-wise was Austin because you don't beat Austin his first night back because you talk about nuclear heat, dear Christ.
You'll be lucky to get out of the arena that night.
With Hunter, Paul Levesque has evolved into such a creative person now, and he's been given the keys to the kingdom on the developmental level for long enough where whoever made the decision to elevate him now that Vince has stepped away because of shenanigans, they're comfortable with him being the head of the creative team. We as fans, whatever we've been told or perceived or whatever, are happy with it, or at least comfortable with it for the moment.
To a degree.
It's the first time in a long time that I was bummed that I missed a B pay-per-view or premium live event because I hate, as much as I enjoyed getting that mouse money, I did not like not being here with you guys to watch the Extreme Rules. That sucked.
Dude, Extreme Rules was pretty damn good.
Extreme Rules, I finally got to watch it back this week because I've been that damn busy. It was a damn good show, as was Open Mic Night.
Triple H created premium live event here on the U.S. soil.
Yep.
Great bar set so far.
It's one of those things, and JJ, forgive me if I'm taking too long here because it's Jeff and I tend to ramble. It is what it is.
Yeah,
I think that Triple H also benefited from that quite a bit. And I say that because his first premium live event that was in this country was at Extreme Rules. It was in Philadelphia. And even before Triple H officially took the reins, the commercials, the promotion, the advertising was very Heyman heavy, which is the key thing to do going into Philadelphia. I missed you guys too. I really did. I missed the pay-per-view premium event, and I really missed Open Mic Night. I don't know if you were here earlier for the comment I made, but I missed being Open Mic Night, at least at the end, by about 15 minutes because I was still on Disney property at the time everybody signed off. So like I literally like hustled my giant ass down to the bus stop trying to catch the bus back to the motel, and ended up missing the stream by about 15 minutes. So if I'm able to be there for the feature, I will. Pretty weekend heavy at this point at the Mouse. I will miss Halloween Havoc. Sucks. In all likelihood, based on the way it's been laid out, I'll probably not be here for Survivor Series, which sucks. Really sucks. I want to see War Games as it happens, but it is what it is. And also the other events, Hard Times and Full Gear and all that. So we'll see. I really think that. Thank you, Mikey. We appreciate you letting us know.
Appreciate you, Mikey.
You're always welcome to come back, sir. You know that.
Yes.
Have a good night.
I think that the audience is feeling like they're the most important ingredient to the product, which is what the Authority told us we were going to be. How many episodes of Raw ago?
That's the
McMahon
key.
and Triple H walked out there and said we were going to get what we want.
That's the key. Is for years, and I know I became disenchanted with it. I know Noah and James became disenchanted with it. To a certain level, I know you did, but you had to keep watching to report on it. But when we feel like our opinions don't matter, we pick up the controller and we turn it off.
Click.
Or we turn the channel.
Yep.
It's like we constantly say about social media. You scroll by somebody's comment that you don't agree with, just keep scrolling.
Yep.
Don't got to comment. Don't got to start shit. Don't got to troll. Just keep scrolling. Dory status. Just keep scrolling. Just keep scrolling. Just keep scrolling.
Or just close the app and realize there's more to life than what you read on the phone screen.
Well, also, unless you want to also just, troll to be funny. Do the funny.
But that's not necessary because then you stoop to that level.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
the words of a multi-time champion who is on the cusp of eclipsing the great Ric Flair, rise above the hate.
Don't hate.
Honestly,
why did I?
We're never going to get a universal consensus on Twitter, number one. Number two, James, you mentioned New Englanders being a world champion. That's your boy. Okay, John Cena was first. Anyway.
I know, right?
Going back to the topic, though, since we're kind of going through and discussing these all, after the Good Brothers was Renee Paquette. If I can just say here, when I knew Moxley was in AEW, it was a matter of time.
Yep.
I agree.
We hoped.
Granted, it took a lot longer than I thought it would.
Yeah.
But she's finally come on her own terms. I think the fact that they did it in Canada was a nice touch.
Yes.
Definitely. She even said legal and contracts are a mother butter. So that was this was something in the works.
I think they're waiting for her to lose that baby weight so she's taking that picture for her promo picture. God damn.
Well, that's a whole different take, and you're not wrong.
I was going to say, between what I was saying
Moxley
and
likes
James
that wild
was saying
thing
on Extreme Rules watch along, if we could just leave that part alone.
Accurate. Although JJ, they did do the comparison with Sable and her outfit.
I said it first.
Accurate. You were accurate.
Like that a little bit, yeah.
On the outfit in the promo picture, or
no. On Extreme Rules, the outfit that Scarlett wore.
Oh yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see the Sable thing. Absolutely.
I guess I also like the wild thing. You make my heart thing.
Yeah. Then we had the announcement for the return of Elias.
Yay!
And I don't really know how I feel about this because,
I'm meh.
The few times I saw Elias, I was like, okay. Then he did the whole Ezekiel thing, and I was like, okay, I kind of am getting behind Ezekiel.
Oh Lord!
Then he got
Ezekiel kind of looked to me like the Wish version of Sean Ricker.
Thank you. I'm glad you said that before I did.
Nice.
I mean, so like, if you really wanted to do someone to do a brother angle with, like, LA Knight and Ezekiel.
Dude,
oh my god,
their features are so similar.
All right, so I probably won't be on next week's show because I'll be at the Mouse. I am going to find a picture because I know it exists because when you said that, it popped into my brain, Jay. I think you know what I'm talking about. There's a picture out there of Ricker and Cage as natural selection. I don't know if Percy's in the picture or not, but Ricker's got the freaking poofy Ezekiel hair. I am finding that shit, and I will send it to you for next week's show.
Why are they trying to look like Doc Brown, damn it?
About the DeLorean? Well, I mean, it is about Halloween season. I mean, you know.
Oh, it's not that frizzy? Okay.
This is heavy.
Great Scott.
But
Great Scott.
I don't know how I feel about Elias.
I don't either. Yeah.
I was digging the Zeke thing.
Hey, listen, if we get an impromptu Rock appearance and we have Elias versus Rock in a concert, then it's all worth it. Right?
No, but here's my issue with it, and JJ, if you agree, please, or if you disagree, please tell me. The Elias character kind of was what it was, and once you've seen that character once on TV or once live, it's kind of like, okay, are you going to do something else now? Because he goes out there, sits on the stool, tries to play, insults the crowd, probably with their sports team because the sports teams in this country tend to suck.
Which he got booed hilariously for.
I mean, to be fair, it's the most easy way to draw heat, it seems, from an audience.
But that's the thing. It's lazy heat.
I agree. It is lazy heat.
There's nothing really like, ooh, I want to watch this. Okay, cool. The biggest pop he got, from my perspective, was when no man, dead or alive, is going to give me gong, and the Undertaker was going to whoop his ass. Like, that was it.
And it was Undertaker that got that cheer. Not
it was Undertaker talking about, and the Elias character, Mikey makes a great point. The character just takes too long and takes up too much of the already sitting there for 3 hours, hour and a half if you're on Hulu like us. It's just too drawn out. Ezekiel being added to the character list, very much, I mean, nowhere near as great. Let me just be clear. Very much the Mick Foley thing, where there's different facets to the character, but they're not acknowledging it as the same person with different personalities. They're actually trying to make us believe they're actually two different people, which I think is ungodly stupid. I just don't know if Elias returning. I just don't know where you go with I don't know where you go with the performer. First of all, period, because both gimmicks, Elias and Ezekiel. I mean, he had the freaking family picture in the hospital, which was just funny but stupid.
That was pretty good.
Freaking Adam Sandler style humor, right? It's like, okay, this is funny, but all right. Anyway, I don't know if either character has enough meat on the bone to go anywhere at this point.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, when I heard, did I ever tell you guys the story when I heard Ezekiel was debuting on Raw, and like I heard it on like some reaction, and so like I didn't know it was Elias, and so I'm like, wait, Ezekiel Jackson? He's back?
That's right.
Yeah, so that's the first thing I thought, and then I looked up Ezekiel WWE. He was already the first thing on Google Images, and I'm like, wait, when the fuck did Ezekiel Jackson become fucking Michael Jackson? What the hell happened?
Damn.
Don't call the bit of Lago and shit.
The Revilla Lago.
It was not a thriller, I'll say that much, James.
Yeah, no, it wasn't.
You know it's bad. It's bad. It's really, really bad.
That very man, Ezekiel, was in a fucking group photo with RK Bro and Cody Rhodes. Let that sink in for a minute.
Right? Yeah.
One of these days just doesn't belong here.
Well, you know what? What's funny about that, James? At the time the picture was put up, I would have said Riddle was the odd man out.
Yeah,
because of how big Elias was at that point. Just saying.
Yeah, well, Ezekiel wasn't, and Ezekiel had a weird freaking zipper on his trunks. So yeah.
Well, that's a whole other different.
Why do people do that? Especially Ezekiel. It was so noticeable. Why are you just gonna have a fucking zipper to just everybody knows is there? Like you. Why?
ForbiddenSight.com, as Noah would say.
Yeah.
Anyway,
by insert third party here.
Then we had Shawn Spears.
Yes, that was cool.
Yeah, that was awesome. So cool.
That was cool because they called it the Pinnacle, but didn't like even like automatically make it MJF with them, which was cool. Like it's gonna be just him and FTR.
Finally, my boy is gonna get the fucking recognition he absolutely deserves.
Hopefully.
Absolutely deserves. I owe that man a lot because I gave him my business card and he shared it with the boys in the back. So the boys in the back actually know of our show existence. So I want that man to succeed so bad just for that alone. Like he deserves the world. He's been one of the nicest people in the entire industry.
Sean's always been good people, and he's going to be a papa, so you got to give him the love, man. That's
I'm about to say congrats to his wife, former Iconic Impact Knockouts Tag Champion, Peyton Royce. And good to see Sean Spears back. And again, how fitting. Canada, home turf, going back to the perfect 10.
Yes.
10.
Now,
I still go back and watch Ty Dillinger versus the glorious Bobby Roode that happened at NXT TakeOver at Toronto. So that was awesome.
Now, is the baby going to be an Iconic 10?
Hey,
I don't know.
Got the genes for it. Shit.
Exactly.
The apple far from the tree. How does that work with genetics?
Hey, if nothing else, the baby's got Cassie and Sean as parents and Auntie Billy. I'm like, we're good to go.
Yeah, I agree.
Or Auntie Jess. Sorry, Billy's the WWE name.
Botch.
There it is. Good week of returns, though, Jay. I'm glad we were going to bring this up. There's been a lot of cool. It's funny on a show that starts with 4 in memoriams. We talk about all these returns from WWE Purgatory. Really, Bray Wyatt.
How did you see it?
The Good Brothers, Renee Paquette's in AEW, Sean Spears is back. The Kingdom's on mainstream television again. Yes, they've been an Impact, but unfortunately, Impact doesn't have the recognition still because they're Impact, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
I'm not shitting on it. It's just what it is.
Yep.
There is good coming, and I sent the group of us the image of what's on TV just this week. It's gonna be, as James would say, a banger of a week. Although Jericho steals Galaxy from us. Now Sheamus is freaking using banger all the time. It's like, okay, is everybody just watching this goddamn show now? For real? Like, seriously.
I guess
I think so. I think exactly.
We've known for a long time that we've been getting watched, Meacham.
Oh, dude. When the boss gets served papers 2 years into the website's run, we know they're watching, right?
Yo, you got me fucking terrified now. Looking around my room.
Hey, James.
Like
if not Vince and Triple H,
watching me.
the Master Mafia is always watching too. So there you go.
And I have no
goddamn.
privacy.
Who's watching?
I always feel like somebody's watching me.
And
Use that song in Hollywood Wrestling, JJ.
Whoa.
Hee hee.
To be fair, that wasn't Michael Jackson. That was Rockwell.
Scaring his daughter.
You wrong. Yeah, my daughter just came out and said, "Oh, it was you singing. I thought it was a dying cat out here."
Yeah.
God damn. Yo.
Not inspired by my daughter.
You gotta get her in the wrestling business, man. She could be great as
No, you get the bad
I
James.
tried to show her wrestling, and aside from making the type of jokes that I told you about earlier, she just can't get into it.
I don't mind her being a fan. Do not put her in the business. Oh dear Christ, James, take the fucking retraction.
You know what? That's fair. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, this business.
It will corrupt her.
This business is evil.
No,
because they're talking about.
Yeah, you know what? Looking for Izzy.
Now.
Looking for Izzy. God damn.
Oh, you had.
Hey, Izzy is a rare exception. She was a fan, and she has done right by her damn self. Good on that girl for getting into it. I'm happy for her.
And staying the right course, it seems, so far, too. So good on her.
Yeah, she seems like she's got a head on her shoulders. She seems like she's got her head straight and not being all, like, absorbed by it. So good on her. For real.
Again, this industry makes you develop an ego, then you try and develop your own price point, and then you go from there and you see how far that takes you, how far that
even at the level that Izzy was and still is. I've been at the point where I had an ego and I got shot out of the sky for it. So yeah, this business can fuck you up if you let it. So I'm just no.
We have starred comments, JJ, that I know you want to get to. So.
Oh, that's right.
They're non-wrestling. That's why I starred them.
It's all good.
First one said, the $36 million budgeted George Clooney, Julia Roberts-led romantic comedy that's coming out this Friday has already made $60.8 million right on. I didn't even know that they had a romantic comedy film coming out this week.
Yeah, there was a trailer for it, not on Kills, the last movie I saw in the theater, which I can't remember what it was. It was Dylan and I went and saw whatever it was. It actually looks pretty cute. It's basically George and Julia are a long-term couple that have long since separated, like they've been apart forever, and their daughter's marrying some schlub. They both go to the wedding, and they end up finding out that their fire's not totally out yet with each other, basically. It's cute. The trailer looks cute. I will probably go see it. Let me be honest. Based on my money and lack of money and time, I'll probably wait for the streaming, but I definitely want to see it. It looks like if I had the time and the money, I would go see it in theaters. That's how much I was impressed by the trailer.
And then we've got Solo, a Star Wars story. Was really that bad to y'all? I mean, I haven't watched it yet, but I did enjoy the original trilogy, most of the prequel trilogy, Force Awakens, Rogue One, Mandalorian, a bit of Boba Fett, and the Clone Wars.
A movie is supposed to make you react, right? I tried it with falling asleep.
So, JJ, I don't know what James's fandom level is. Forgive me, James, but JJ, I know you're a fan of the George Lucas's universe.
Yeah,
I think Solo's the worst movie outing.
Yeah, no doubt.
I would say that, as much as I defend now in hindsight Attack of the Clones, I would say that Solo is right there with like The Last Jedi and Attack of the Clones as far as how bad it is.
Yeah, and I actually can find the like in Last Jedi. A lot of people can't. And again, much like with the Halloween movies, I'm still very much new guy coming in.
Here's a hot take. Here's a hot take. And I know, Jeff, you're probably the only one that can relate to this. I can find more to like about the Star Wars Holiday Special than I can about Solo.
Yeah.
Anybody? Okay, and by the way, I say this every time he brings it up. The Star Wars Holiday Special is actually on YouTube in its entirety, including the beginning of the intro. It says, Wonder Woman will not be seen tonight because we have this instead. Like, that's how much they carved out of that shit.
Yeah.
And Carrie Fisher is the worst of the bunch, but they're all totally fucking coked out for that whole special. So it's awful. And Solo's worse. It really is.
That just goes to show you can't make a Christmas special out of everything and call it great.
No.
Hey, you know what? That holiday special was fine. There was plenty of snow. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Wrong kind of snow, Jeff.
Got it. Sorry.
There was plenty.
Wait. Snow in space? How does that work?
Oh. That about wraps up the topic for the day.
Everything.
What's the weather phenomenon we're talking about here? I'm confused. There's something I need to know here.
Noah, you poor innocent soul.
That about wraps up.
I know, Mr. Lucas. That's why I'll never be on Disney Plus. I know.
I'm serious. I'm asking a question. I don't know.
To the 18 people that are still watching this live, we thank you for joining us. And for riding with us for almost 3 hours here.
Noah, he was talking about cocaine.
Why would they put cocaine in a space movie?
Are you ready for this? It was a drug junk. I am out of control. Okay.
He still doesn't get it. Oh my god. No. Snow. There was plenty of snow. Cocaine. It's powder. Hello.
On a holiday special, there was snow.
White.
A holiday special. Powder, white powder. It's like a snowy substance.
Are you talking about this was actually in the movie?
No. Behind the scenes, Carrie Fisher was doing so much cocaine. It's obvious on screen.
Oh, the actor. That's a way to spend a freaking Christmas Eve. Jesus.
This is the best moment.
Noah, please, Noah. Hang on.
Best moment ever.
Hang on, Noah. Please don't ever change. I'll love the fuck out of you, dude. For real.
I don't plan to. I'm being honest here.
No, we know.
This guy does not. He doesn't drink. He doesn't smoke. He doesn't fool around with people that shouldn't be. Dude, you are awesome. You are the best person. I love you.
I'm in literal tears over here.
Holy shit. Now
I'm laughing for no real reason.
Noah has broken
and
me.
the comment at the bottom is not wrong because
Noah has
the fact
broken
that
me.
Star Wars movies take place in a galaxy far, far away a long time ago is very much on point when it comes to behind the scenes.
Yeah, the idea was they went on cocaine behind the scenes. There was plenty of snow.
Yeah,
That's the joke.
Carrie would have been the first to tell you. May she rest in peace. Now that I've completely disparaged her name on the air here. Good grief.
That was outstanding.
Exactly.
Holy shit. Somebody clip that if they haven't already. Holy fuck.
So
now I know what celebrities do in the green room apparently on
right. So especially in the 80s and the late 70s, it was very prevalent. Hell, if you read Hogan's actual book, not the WWE produced one they put out, Hogan and his wife were very much about the speedballs back then. So yeah, it was what it was.
Hey, speedball another name for it?
Yep. I just ruined Noah's life when it comes to watching Impact. Nah, I just fucked up. Sorry, man.
Yeah. I mean, I try my best to forget about the Immortal era. Again, now we're in Scott Demore, but I'm already confused enough as it is. So I mean,
Okay, trying to reel it back in again.
Long cast.
We've lost some of you now to the 14 of y'all that are still watching.
Sorry.
Thank you for staying with us.
I'm innocent and simple.
That's right.
And that's why we love you, Noah. Seriously.
He's too pure to be pink. Anyway, oh Lord.
For a show that we didn't have a whole lot to talk about because it wasn't a big news week, we've gone almost 3 hours.
That's pretty good for well, I'm here too.
Pretty good, yeah.
That seems to be about normal with us lately, but these poor two schmucks on the East Coast, it's 2 a.m. Noah's got church in like 4 hours.
Six. No.
Still.
Seven actually.
James, go ahead and plug whatever it is that you want to plug for this week.
Yeah,
we can start wrapping this up.
Next stream, there's going to be a whole lot of snow. No, I'm kidding.
Right.
Not winter yet, James.
Let it snow.
So the most I think I have going on is whatever the hell is going on Owen's channel that I'll help him be producing for. As far as when you'll see me on camera again, don't know. Main reason, COVID
next
kind of
Saturday.
Everything up. Next Saturday for sure, but everything else is up in the air because COVID done kicked my ass over the last week. I'm finally getting over it. All I have is a shitty voice, as you can hear from me laughing. But other than that, we'll see. We'll see. You'll see me when you see me at this point. No guarantees when I'll be on camera, but I will be producing shit behind the scenes. So there you go.
There you go.
Including ATW View, which Noah will get to, I'm sure.
There you go.
Over on my side of things, and apparently Jeff watched enough of our open mic nights that he said, you take too long with the individual graphics. Here's collages.
No. That's not what I said.
So we got, I'm messing with you, Jeff. Relax. Relax, Jeff. I'm messing with you.
Yeah. He's fucking
we got a whole bunch of stuff coming up on my channel, as all you guys know. We're in the midst of the spooky. Got Hocus Pocus coming up tomorrow. Hocus Pocus 2. We got Stat Boy Sports Bar on Tuesday at 4:30 Pacific, 7:30 Eastern because of pickup times since I'm producing it.
Yes.
This coming Thursday is the final episode of my reviews of She-Hulk Attorney at Law. New release Saturday, Netflix original The Curse of Bridge Hollow, which I just watched today with the house.
Right on.
Next time you see me and Jeff together for sure will be the top 10 horror movie sequels on Monday, October 24th for Dads Not Always on Wrestling.
Yes.
Of course, you got the War Zone every Sunday. Bitch Ass is the final new release Saturday for the month.
What a title.
Right? If I remember correctly, it's Tony Todd from the Candyman movies that's in that one, so it kind of fits.
Yep.
And then, as has been alluded to a few times tonight, 14 nights of the Halloween franchise beginning on the 18th, which I believe is Tuesday.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So starting on Tuesday the 18th with the original 78 saga. Wednesday's a double feature, the You Can't Kill the Boogeyman short film and Halloween 2. And then each day after that, Halloween 3, 4, 5, 6, H2O, The Haddonfield Nightmare, the true sequel to H2O.
That's right.
Then the bullshit sequel to H2O, Halloween Resurrection.
Yes.
The 2 Rob Zombie movies. And then the latest trilogy to wrap things up with Halloween Ends on Halloween night.
More
reviewed by me and Jeff.
And possibly more. I'm working on it.
The next time you'll see us all on the Multiverse of Media for PLE pay-per-view coverage is next Saturday for Halloween Havoc.
Not my NXT!
We then have NWA Hard Times on the 12th, I believe, of November.
Yes, sir.
The 19th, the following week is Full
Let's
Gear.
freaking go!
The following week, AEW Full Gear. The week after that, Survivor Series War Games. We've got the Greg Cherry Show coming up, special time on Monday.
Yes.
Of course, make sure that you guys tune in to NoDQ.com for the Raw, SmackDown, and Dynamite recaps, as well as the NoDQ reviews every Thursday. You never know who's going to drop into those panels.
Yes.
It could be one of us in the room. It could be other people. And then Talk Wrestling will return for at least one night only.
Right.
Yeah, a one-night stand, if you will.
I've escaped from the mouse for a Tuesday.
On October 25th, right after NXT.
Yes. That will also feature the return of me in the producer's booth for Sapboy Sports Bar that day, too. So,
Yay,
I have Tuesday off, so
I don't have to do it.
Well, the only reason I won't be there this coming Tuesday, is because I have a friend coming in from out of town, and also my buddy Jenna from Paradise Kitty is going to be at Disney with me on Tuesday. So.
Oh, nice.
To the 4 comments in the comment room, I will get to you momentarily. I can't see you while I'm running through the plugs.
Yes.
For November on Dads, we've got the November to Remember matches, top 10. I just watched 98 today, so I only have 2 November to Remembers to go before I can officially make my list.
Good shit.
As well as our top 10 charity singles to kick off Thanksgiving week.
Which is in the can already. Love it.
Should be an interesting one. It was another joint list that I pretty much put together. Jeff co-signed on, and we just kind of rambled through them.
It was a pretty cool thing for being a collaborative and me just kind of putting in my 2 cents. It actually went over an hour. I was surprised at how much we could wax proxy on that. It was pretty cool.
With She-Hulk ending this week, had to look for something new. The Santa Clauses. My review of that series. First episode will drop Thanksgiving Day because the first episode will premiere the week prior. So I will be taking a look at the Santa Clauses, which I know my daughter is excited for because Bernard is back and Curtis.
Is he gonna let it snow?
Stop it! Terrible.
Well, at least that's actual snow. That much I do understand.
And while we're on the topic of Santa Clauses, make sure you book soon.
Yes. I
because gotta try to factor it in with his Mouse Mafia schedule.
Yeah, it's one of those. I definitely have weekends that are tied up by the Mouse Mafia. I mean Mickey Mouse. I mean Walt Disney Company. So kind of book me when you can. Yes, those are legitimate rates. Yes, I've lowered them considerably from what other people that do that gig charge. So take it if you can.
Because he does it because he enjoys donning that suit. Not to make a dollar.
No, it's one of those. I've always enjoyed the spirit of Christmas. I've always grown up on the fact that, we see Santa Claus primarily here because what's the most magical place in the world that kids can come and Santa can get a better idea of what the kids want to see and do? This guy's house. But also, speaking of this guy, I didn't throw the plug out there because I'm not involved in it and you're not reviewing it as far as I know. The Mickey documentary is finally coming out on November 18th, on Mickey's birthday. It'll have a Mouska spin, I'm sure, because Disney's the one putting it out there. But I'm looking forward to the full definitive story because they've had like little snippet things over the years. They have like the celebrations for him, and they've had different things. Not an actual like documentary in depth on his story. So it'll be cool to see it.
And then the final plug.
Yes.
The countdown to New Year's Eve. I'm kind of stoked about this one. I didn't know what to think about it when it was first pitched, but the more I think about it, the more I'm looking forward to it.
How much Mountain Dew am I going to need that night?
I don't know if we'll be able to be on the air long enough to hit midnight on the West Coast. But we'll at least be online long enough to hit midnight on the East Coast.
Hey,
which will be an hour after we're on, so that's actually pretty good.
I have a request if we're gonna do this. May we sprinkle in some funny ass highlights throughout the years since we've been doing this, and I can just send them over to you boys.
If we can get the show clips, yeah, why not?
Yeah, if you can download the open mic nights from YouTube, snippet, some episode clips, send them to me.
Yeah,
I'll upload them into the StreamYard, and we'll take a look at them over the course of the thing.
I think I have every Open Mic Night as a playlist on my YouTube channel because Open Mic Night's been a combination of its own production, but also posts most pay-per-views.
Oh, so not you? Can you make that playlist public so that way I could just be like, "Hey, here's the definitive Open Mic Night playlist."
Yeah, it should be public on my YouTube channel.
Okay, Porky Pig.
Yeah, those are terrible. James, you're terrible tonight. Jesus.
A says hopefully that you recover soon, James.
From your COVID,
yes. Yeah, the COVID's getting to my autism. Sorry.
About to say, my brain's just trying to stay awake, so it's sputtering.
If you can, what was your beef with the last 2 episodes of She-Hulk? Type it in the comment box because I really enjoyed the last 2 episodes. I'll admit, and I haven't sat down to review the finale yet, but I'll admit that the finale was a little all over the place. But the episode prior to it with Daredevil coming in, I was waiting for that episode the entire season. I enjoyed the shit out of it.
I think he has issues with She-Hulk because she wasn't green with envy enough. I gotta stop.
I have not seen that just yet.
Oh.
Boo.
It's the witching hour. It's time to put James to night-night.
Yeah.
So that takes care of James's plugs. That takes care of mine and Jeff's plugs. Noah, take us home as you always do.
Again, folks, I hope you just enjoyed the ride tonight as always, too. But if people want to know more about me, know this. Why I've been busy all night working for stuff for the morning as well. I am just a simple man and a lifelong fan of, you clearly saw when I came in its review, professional wrestling! Damn it! But I digress. Find me on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Foster1916 for all things wrestling. Shout out, of course, the entire ATW family on Twitter. There will be, tentatively, an ATW View impromptu. Once again, the monthly forum that me, James, and all my ATW cohorts, we come and discuss any damn thing we want. This last month in all things wrestling, live on YouTube across the Hebert side, FTW Productions, my channel, and other platforms too. Stay tuned for my all league coverage of Rampage, Dynamite. Damn it! Cannot believe I'm not going. And more too, as always, on what's now being called Steve Follows Wrestling YouTube channel. And I'm sure there'll be predictions for the Halloween Havoc special. So chances are I'll be a part of that too on NoDQ. But other than that, it should be a pretty simple week too. But as always, I'd like to conclude. There are no winners, no losers, no bears. They're just fans with opinions for this passion we all share. And other passions too, even if I don't know them. So at the end of the day, folks, support one another, respect each other, protect your mentality too. And just enjoy life and enjoy professional wrestling and movies. And apparently snow, if you choose to. It's as simple as that.
I'm almost done.
So that wraps it up for us this week for the West Coast Professor. Thank you for being able to join us this week.
Happy to be here, brother.
Motherfucking Meacham.
There it is. Be 11 o'clock. Who gives a shit?
For James Hebert. For the simple man, Noah Foster. The man who I will be calling the action with next week for not his NXT Halloween Havoc.
Damn it.
I am the Renegade JJ Williams. Thank you for joining us on the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media. And we will see you guys next time.
Drugs are bad, okay?